What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the stream. Sorry about that. Had to reset my audio quickly, but we are up and ready to roll with the Pod 8 finals for T5S2 Season 2. Super excited about this game. This is going to be sweet. We have one relative newcomer to the finals table in 9th edition, and then one old staple in 9th edition finals games. We have Harlequins over here in the blue with Patrick Parker playing them versus red, appropriately in the red, Martian Adeptus Mechanicus, played by Doc Dan K, who we have seen many times at the finals table of these events. He did make it to the... he was one of the top players in the T5S2 Season 1 Invitational and has been putting up results ever since, playing a lot of mixed Imperium lists, a lot of very interesting builds, and I believe playing mixed Chaos in that Invitational with the hottest stakes Chaos list, featuring Magnus and an infinite number of Nurgling Swarms to take the center of the table and absolutely dominate those primary objectives. Unfortunately was knocked out in the elimination stage of that event, but did make it pretty far. So good on him, and hopefully we're going to see Dan K return in the Season 2 Invitational, putting up some good results with some other factions, not necessarily just Chaos. But this is going to be an interesting fight between these two factions. I think Harlequins, like I mentioned before, absolutely dominating right now. Between them and Space Marines, it's we can't really tell yet which one of those two factions is the best, but they are both putting up mad results. Adeptus Mechanicus, not quite so much. They got hit pretty hard in the change over to the new edition, and haven't quite recovered just yet. So they're having they're struggling a little bit, but we'll see how it ends up. Dan was talking to the players before the game as well. Dan, a little bit trepidatious about playing on this map. We are playing Scorched Earth, so we have the Return to Lagrange map here, based on one of our Season 1 T5S2 maps, and it is one of the heaviest line of sight blocking maps that we have in the map pool right now. We sort of run the gamut from being relatively light with only 1 or 2 line of sight blockers in your deployment zone to being much heavier, and this one is very much on the heavier side with 3 big obscuring pieces of terrain in these ruins here and here, as well as this cloud cover is also considered obscuring. We also have 3 pieces of obscuring terrain in the center of the table that you're going to be hiding behind. So you have a lot of avenues to leapfrog to your opponent's side of the map if you need to, which is definitely going to be helpful for the Harlequins. Fortunately, Dan has brought a couple tools to help him out in this particular matchup and on this level of terrain that we'll talk about momentarily. I want to thank everybody in the chat room for joining us. David Gaylord, this map is so GG for Quins. Is Dan K playing non-LOS or Ferromite cannons? He's playing a mix, actually. So we have 2 Belleros energy cannons on his Whirlwind Scorpii. Or not his Whirlwind Scorpii, his Scorpius Disintegrators. The other kind of Scorpii. And 1 Ferromite cannon. So he sort of split the difference, which is good. But Dan very much considers this, we were talking before the game, consider this to be a very much a first turn game. I think the Harlequins going first. They get to double move a Skyweaver unit right across the table, put a bunch of Star Weavers, probably sort of in line of sight blocking bunkers around here. Try to pin Dan into his deployment zone with those Skyweavers, and then kind of descend upon the army turn 2. If he gets the first turn, he has the ability to try to whittle down these Skyweavers. Obviously, he has a couple Iron Strider Ballistarii in the list, which are going to be very good at putting out that high damage output. He has Cataphront Breachers. He has the Planes as well. A lot of ways to deal damage on the first turn Alpha Strike, but going to be very much an Alpha Strikey game, and that's a little bit how it is with Harlequins. Between their redeploy abilities and just their raw speed, they can certainly, just sort of dive on your opponent very early and take them out. James Coulter, I want another upset. Yeah, we did have the last our finals game last week versus Jack Tight versus Kasese. Oh my gosh, what a game! If you haven't watched that, I mean, the results have been posted, so there's no spoilers really. But Kasese was in an absolutely dominating position going first as Harlequins versus White Scars, and rocketing his army across the table, punching the White Scars right in the face, but failing a little bit in the late game, and the White Scars were able to pull out, I think, a 3-point victory that game. An intense game it was. So RVSAU 169, how many breachers are we running? Yeah, so we're going to talk about the list real quick here. Dan K's Mechanicus list is actually very interesting. I think it's It's a pretty good, kind of well-rounded Mechanicus list with a lot of different modules in it. It's a single Martian battalion. It's led by Belisarius Call, as well as a Manipulus, who is the warlord with Divinations of the Magos. 1 unit of 6 breachers with arc rifles and arc claws. This is going to be pretty good hitting against the Star Weavers specifically, although the low ballistic skill on those breachers is going to be a little tough. We also have 3 units of 5 Scutarii Rangers just to stand on objectives. And then the fast attack and elite slots are pretty interesting. We have, or the fast attack slot, at least I should say. We have 5 Rust Stalkers with Transonic Blades, as well as, like I mentioned before, 4 Iron Strider Ballistarii. These do have the las cannons equipped to them, though, so not the Cognis auto cannons. I have to imagine that was a little bit of a concession to Salamanders, Salamanders being so popular in the current sort of, this pod was the pre-9th Ed Space Marine Codex pod. So Salamanders have a lot of ignore 1 AP and probably don't necessarily need to get into close range for any of the additional AP stacking to turn on. So hitting them with the 16 autocannon shots kind of bounces off really easily. But those 8 las cannons is nothing to shake a stick at. Not to mention that those Iron Striders have that 1 CP plus 1 to wound strat. You can combo that with Wrath of Mars, so you can be dealing mortal wounds on 5+ if you really, really want to. And you can just sort of pump out a reasonable amount of damage with those guys. The hard part is going to be hitting the Harlequins. The -1 to hit auras are going to really affect these Martians pretty hardcore, but Belisarius Call is there to smooth that over a little bit. If we can get some 4-ups or 5-ups to hit here, we could see some Skyweavers and some Star Weavers ripped off the table pretty quickly by the shooting. I mentioned before, we also have 3 Scorpius Disintegrators, 2 with Belarus Energy Cannons, 1 with a Ferromite Cannon, as well as 2 Archaeopter Fusillabs with Chaff Launchers. So they're going to be -1 damage from basically all of this attack, all these attacks. If the Skyweavers want to get up in melee with them, they'll be able to do that pretty well, but unfortunately not going to be, this shooting's probably not going to be super, super reliable against those guys. So I think all in all, a pretty classic Adeptus Mechanicus list. The real highlight on the Raiders, 16 Raiders in the list to push forward for front objectives is a big deal. Just being able to screen your opponent out of large swaths of the table with those guys is going to be pretty big. Hopefully Dan can position them in such a way that he makes charges with the Skyweavers on his units on turn 1 very difficult. But that does give Dan a little bit of a repositional ability to react to whoever's going first. So that's going to be very useful. I think Dan's first turn, if he's going second, he's going to have to give up a lot of these infantry, and we can already see him setting that up to make the Harlequin Alpha Strike a little bit less, damaging. We saw him earlier. He was proxy basing a Skyweaver up in here just to make sure that if a bike came in, it wouldn't be able to charge over and hit the Ferromite Disintegrator there. So that's good positioning from Dan. We'll see how he's going to be able to lock out the Harlequins if they do end up going first. But that's one of the powers of the Harlequin army. Obviously, it can redeploy a lot of those units. So even if it doesn't go first, it can redeploy into a safer position, and suddenly your opponent's out of position because they had to deploy so defensively, not knowing whether or not you could take the first turn. Talking about this Harlequin list in particular, this is going to be pretty similar to most of the lists that we've seen. It is a single soaring spite battalion, so it's going to be able to advance and fire its assault weapons and pistols without penalty, which is pretty good to have for all the fusion pistols that we're about to be talking about. We have a Shadow Seer with a Domino Shroud. We just saw that combo go off in the last game with Kasezi as well. Able to Domino Shroud around the table to give the minus 6-inch range aura to different things, and then use the stratagem to make it count against everything. Make his -1 to wound count against everything. So you can make the Skyweavers relatively difficult to kill. I mean, -1 to hit, -1 to wound, and a 4+ invulnerable save on top of that. Pretty good. We also have 2 Troop Masters this time around. No Yanari characters in this list. We're just going all Harlequins. One of them has... they both have taken Choreographer of War. One of them has a pivotal role to add Darkness Bite on top of that, to add additional mortal wounds every time it fights. Both of them have fusion pistols, and that the Darkness Bite Troop Master is the Warlord, who is a Sky Strider. So he's going to be able to jump out of transports after they move, so he can get up in there. He has a Twilight Fang, could deal a whole boatload of damage, and the other guy's just going to be more of a buff bot with his choreographer. We have 5 total Harlequin troops, 2 units of 5 with a mix of kisses and embraces with their Harlequin blades, 1 unit of 6. Every single Harlequin trooper has a fusion pistol, and every single one of them is mounted in a Star Weaver. So there you go. We got the 5 Star Weaver boats. This list also bringing 3 units of Sky Weavers rather than the 2 we saw earlier. 2 of them have Haywire Cannons and Zephyr Glaives. One of them trades the Zephyr Glaives for Star Bolas. And the 2 with Zephyr Glaives are 5 bike units, and the other one's just 4. Following that up, we just have a Death Jester, a Deadly Hunter Death Jester. No Humbling Cruelty, interestingly, but we'll see how if that really matters. But again, a fairly classic Harlequins list, as we're seeing more and more. Sort of splitting the difference between going full-on into the fusion boats, as we've seen before, that with big units of players and 6 or 7 fusion boats in them, and taking the Skyweaver list. Obviously, it's not Frozen Stars, so they don't hit quite as hard as the Skyweaver version, but the fusion pistols are going to really blow some stuff up. So overall, Harlequin's been doing a lot of work with just their mobility. Their interactions with dedicated transports is a big deal. The fact that you have to kill the transport and then an objective secured unit, a very dangerous objective secured unit, jumps out of it, it makes it difficult to root them off of objectives. And that makes it easy for that army to just push regressively very far forward and score a whole boatload of primary points very quickly. Trevor Barrow, I think Admech is good LOS and some good rolls. He might be able to gut the Quins, but if he can't get that, Admech is going to get ripped up fairly quick. Yeah, I mean, with the way that the Harlequins have deployed, obviously there's some good line of sight. That will certainly not be the case if the Adeptus, or if the Harlequins, or if the Adeptus Mechanicus go first. Obviously they can redeploy into the back corners and into these ruins. That's going to be a little bit less effective for the Harlequins. But they should be able, if they really want to, they should be able to hide most of their important units. That said, we do have 2 Archaeopters and 2 Belarus Energy Cannons on the table, so we can put a little bit of work in early. And these Raiders might actually be able to get some cheeky shots in around the corner here if these Skyweavers can't sort of hide way far back. Samware, the mortal wound output from the Raiders could kill a good chunk of bikes. Yeah, definitely. This is also a Martian battalion like we talked about before, so mortal wound's definitely going to be a problem for the Harlequins if you're just triggering Wrath of Mars. The Raiders themselves, they don't attack too many times, but if that's the only thing you're doing that turn, you might as well just start dumping strats on them to try to get them to do some more damage. Looks like we're going to be really pushing the Disintegrators onto Objective 4 here. It's an interesting choice by Chiandok. That means that he's putting them next to where all the Star Weavers are, which is a little bit scary to me. But on the flip side, if he deploys them back here, it's very difficult for those Disintegrators to actually leave the safety of their wall, because obviously those walls are breachable and they are difficult to get through for big vehicles. You have to usually go around the corner or climb over, which is usually like an entire turn of movement, maybe in advance, which I don't think the Adeptus Mechanicus can afford.
I'm very familiar with that.
So we'll see how safely the Harlequins can end up deploying. It may be that Chiandok just wants first turn to do a little bit of damage, but mostly sort of zone out where the Harlequins can safely hide. And in doing so, could open them up to some juicy line of sight. Shuma in the chat, jet horses versus jet bikes, who's stronger? The battle of the centuries. I do want to apologize, everyone. This stream is going to be a little bit choppy. I think it looks like our connection's good, so there shouldn't really be any lag or anything, but my TTS is chugging along, and I don't know what the problem with it is. We've made one of the players the host so that it's a little bit less strain. But I've had some catastrophic problems with TTS this past week, and I think I'm going to have to upgrade my hardware to deal that, to fix that. So patreon.com/tacticaltortoise. Help me out, upgrade my stuff. Because unfortunately this is it's going pretty slow. I was playing a Combat Patrol game the other day, and I had a catastrophic crash on it on TTS. The rest of the computer ran fine. It was just the program freaked out. So I do apologize if it's a little bit slow, everyone, but hopefully we'll get through it. I think some people said that they've had similar problems with Tabletop Simulator in the last couple weeks. It's got a little of a memory leak issue, maybe. So, Chad, I want to hear who you're rooting for this game. I think a lot of people are probably rooting for Adeptus Mechanicus right now. Harlequins are kind of a boogeyman in the meta. Not something I would really expect. Some people, I think, apocryphally, sort of predicted that they would be very good in 9th edition. I wasn't so sure, but man, are they putting up results. James Coulter rooting for Admech. Caesarius, I really like both. Well, it's a win-win for you then, I guess. RVS, Admech for sure. Admech, the underdog faction, yeah. They are, they're having a little trouble in 9th edition, which is interesting. I think, Shuma and I, when we did our faction ranking, we put them very highly. Sort of assuming that they hadn't really had changed, and their ability to threaten the center of the table with armored vehicles was traditionally pretty powerful. And it's just unfortunate that they really haven't had the ability to sort of translate that into wins. All right. Looks like the players may have rolled to go first and we just missed it. Let me pop into their mics real quick and see what they're talking about.
Okay, let's see.
Did we see a win from Patrick?
So this unit.
Oh, we're doing pregame stuff. Okay. I think these are in the bottom corner. These are the dice, the rolled dice. If Patrick rolled the blue, then let me see one. Yeah, Giandak moving very defensively. I imagine. Yeah, we're going to be trying to block off as much real estate in front of his vehicles as possible. So I think this looks like a Harlequin's going first, everyone. Uh-oh. Row Admech. Yeah, a big problem is that there's not really much forward presence in the Admech army. Nothing in it is super resilient, and it just basically plays the fairest game of 40k you can imagine, right? They're just gonna stand still, and they're gonna, if they can draw line of sight to you, they're gonna shoot you to death. And unfortunately, you have to stand in places to win games of 40k, and they just have a bunch of T7 vehicles basically. Not to mention the fact that it's like Eradicators are blowing up right now. You know, Space Marines will just rip an Admech gun line off the table in 1 or 2 rounds of shooting if they want to. These Harlequins, obviously a billion fusion pistols and Halewire cannons, like a bunch of stuff that's going to be really good at killing the kind of vehicles that Adeptus Mechanicus has traditionally brought. The Raiders are much more resilient than folk give them credit for. Put about 100 strength 4 AP one-shots into a squad of 9 and it didn't wipe it. Yeah, I guess the math sounds about right? Because the squad of 9 has 27 wounds.
Okay. So go ahead.
And if you're 4s and 3s into a 5-up save, like they'll probably only convert around 25% or so.
And then I start with 7, but +1 brings me to 8.
I don't know if we need to flip these because it has the blue on the red side and the red on the blue side, but it's confusing.
You can flip the color of the clock if you click on whichever side is up. If it's already up and you click on that side, it'll flip the color. So like if the red clicks on the blue side right now, it'll turn to red. So here, we do this. And then, Patrick, can you click on the clock here real quick?
Yep.
That should fix the colors. On the big side. There you go.
Okay.
It's like a ritual.
Yeah.
Everyone touched the button.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's appropriate for Adeptus Mechanicus, right? Like we have to say the incantation and then light the sacred sensor, and then we have to hit the button at the right order.
I'll go ahead and give Green Squad the 3-up invuln.
Okay.
So we got some good defensive positioning out of Chiandok here. Trying very hard to keep his vehicles from being engaged. Unfortunately, I'm a little worried about these disintegrators getting hit by energy or by haywire cannons. I feel like that's what's going to get them.
And I'm assuming all the bikes are advancing. Is that right?
Yes, they are.
More so than the melee. The melee is going to be annoying, but haywire can rip those things off the table pretty quickly with some good rolls.
I'll go ahead and advance the Shadow Seer. 3.
It was funny, Dan was before the game counting up how many points he needed to get himself second place in this game in his event. He was sort of assuming that there's a pretty significant chance that if the Harlequins went first, he would not be able to pull this one out. It does seem like a very bad matchup into some good terrain for the Harlequins, so we'll see if he's able to pull it out. I'm rooting for Dan at this point, I think. Same way, Raiders are a solid choice. The list wants to dedicate your medium and heavy guns into non-Raider models in Spiral.
Oh, there we go. Somehow that fixed the yellows.
Yeah, most of my experience with Raiders, I think I'm probably a little biased because I typically play Hive Guard. So Raiders are often in a position where they're the one thing in range turn 1, and they get ripped off the table immediately. But they definitely, I mean, it's a boatload of wounds that you can put right in the middle, and that's always, this is 9th edition. That's what you want. They're fast and they're relatively resilient, and there's a lot of them, so they can skirmish with the best of them. I think a big downside is that the inefficiency of their fallback strat now, where previously they could for 2 CP just pull out of combat, but I believe now you have to use the Overwatch stratagem in addition. So here comes the Star Weavers. Looking to draw some line of sight to the airplanes, which makes a lot of sense. Interestingly, the Archaeopters, they are aircraft, so they don't benefit from the obscuring keyword. So they're much easier to see than a lot of the rest of the AdMech army.
And then before I move this, the Death Jester back here is going to pop out. Just run onto this objective. I guess I have to move 1 first. Alright, and then where are we going with this last one?
David Gaillard. The stratagem got
The
eroded.
only character that should be out is the Death
That's good
Jester.
to
I
know.
believe. Yep, True Master's there.
I wasn't aware of that.
Okay.
That's sick.
If I have range, he's gonna sit here. No, he's just going to jump over to this one.
One thing that could almost work against the Sebastian,
All right.
thanks for the subscription.
Really
appreciate it. But one thing that there is a potential for the terrain to almost
Psychic
work against the
phase.
Harlequins.
We're gonna go ahead and Twilight Pathways.
If you can try to
goes off on
body
a
block
6.
landing zones between the terrain and the
I'll use it on the yellow squad. Advance
and your
them,
models with those
and give them
post
a
charge
3-up
moves,
invuln as well.
you could potentially block some charges from these guys. And here comes yellow squad right up in there. So we have prismatic blurs on both of the Harlequin squads for a 3+ invulnerable save. And they're just doing their thing, running around and charging people.
Could you fix that guy so he's not on top of the...
Oh yeah, sorry.
Chat, where's the
Oh yeah, he's like on top.
where's the FAQ for the Adeptus
I'm playing on the
Mechanicus
MacBook, so kind of hard to
strat
see
for
things
Tactico Oblique?
sometimes.
I can't find it.
And then I will mirror mines a Iron Strider. Let me make sure.
Olivier
I lied to you. We're gonna
asks,
mirror
is Mars the
mines,
only playable Forge
this
World for Abnek?
Disintegrator.
What about Styges, the
Okay.
pregame move transports, and the
I
custom
need
data
7.
horde? Yeah, arc weapons. I do think that there are other builds for sure. I definitely don't think Mars is the only one. I think Mars is maybe just the most consistent. The +1 strength on range weapons is like insanely powerful, or on heavy weapons, excuse me. Because it affects, I mean, like heavy stubbers and all sorts of stuff. Not to mention that you know Belisarius Call is already a really powerful model, and being able to stack 2 canticles on top of each other is just really nice to have. That said, I do think that Styges is probably the number 2 still. There is a bit of an issue with the -1 to hit being a little bit less good in 9th edition, just because hit penalties in general aren't quite as good. But also, you're often fighting within that 12-inch band, so it's not really a big deal for your opponent just to move in to hit you with that. So it's not quite as good as it was in 8th ed. But that said, Styges being able to dump a bunch of full red electric breeds or something onto an objective, I think is still very powerful. And then obviously there's some other ones. I think Ryza probably worth mentioning because their damage output is so insane with their cannons, with their plasma destroyers. There's some interesting combos and stuff. Obviously Admech is full of interesting combos. But I don't think Mars is the only playable one. It's just I think it's just the most popular, I think, from a consistency standpoint. Bobby Halls, there's no Vikings on the table. We don't need any shanties today. I don't know what toaster music sounds like. Should we just play carnival music, chat, for the Harlequin? David Gaillard, Quins are going to 100% have their going 100% into their opponent. Seems kind of bad. I would love to stack all the troops on the L on the left. Then you could disembark and 100% hit turn 2. Yeah, that's I think that's what we were talking about before. Being able to rush 1 to 2 Skyweaver units into your opponent and then keep a lot of your Starweavers back here seems good. We'll see how powerful this hit is. I mean, if the Alpha Strike is crippling enough, I don't think it matters. But definitely, I mean, nothing's going to hit these Iron Striders. Nothing's going to hit these Cataphrons. This Pharamite cannon now has like good lines of sight to a lot of the army. So I think I agree. This might be a little bit too all in for the from the Harlequins, but they still have. I mean, I don't think anything's going to hit this unit of Skyweavers or that Starweaver. So they will still have some stuff in the back. Yeah, so unless there was a core rules FAQ chat, I don't see a change to Tactica Obliqua. Yeah, there's not one in the Adeptus Mechanicus. There's no clarification in the Adeptus Mechanicus thing, as far as I can see. At least doing a search for it. Yeah, it comes up with nothing. Where's the core rules? Maybe there's one here. Unless it's in advanced rules? Nope, nothing about Overwatch in there.
Okay.
So 6 shots with transport. These are all the shuriken. 5 hits. And 2's to wound. So 4, no AP.
It's 2 die.
Then I'll spend 1 CP to fire and fade him.
The chat is currently fully in support of changing to Calliope circus music. All right, well.
And then the guys inside will go ahead and shoot at this disintegrator. Master, get back in.
Oh, this is like some it stuff here. Woo. Creepy. Dragon Beef is not in the Adeptus Mechanicus Codex nor Engine War.
6 fusions.
EW had the FAQ Q4 state. It can be used even if you can't shoot Overwatch, but it doesn't remove the criteria.
1 wound.
Yeah, I don't see a chat. I don't see an FAQ that says you don't have to use the Overwatch.
Just 3 damage.
After a little research, Calliope music right holders are fiercely
Go
litigious.
Ahead and shoot. We'll just put everything into the super dinged up.
Gotta watch out for those clown posses, guys.
Yeah.
They'll get you.
5d6.
I'm gonna go to an isometric view here, chat.
14.
So you can see a little bit more of the table. The L's in the center are blocking at this avenue of attack that the Harlequins are at.
8 hits. Only 4 mortals and 2 armor.
Those clown posses are insane.
So he takes 4. He's a 1.
Starweaver 5 will put his shuriken. Yeah. Oh wait, can I? See. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Can Starweaver 5 see that disintegrator? I think
RVS AU169. How are Gene Stealer
smoke.
cults looking so far in 9th edition? Unfortunately,
I mean, it's hard for me to get down.
Yeah,
You can.
not very
I well,
You say I can. I can't. You say I can't. I believe you.
I think you probably should be able to. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll put my 6 shots into him.
some big problems with Gene Stealer cults. Obviously, they don't hold territory very well.
The freeze.
There were some lists, I think some experimental lists at the start. I might have had one on my channel at one point. That was, it sort of tried to spam dedicated transports and do kind of the same thing that this Harlequin list is doing, but it is not quite as good. There have been, I mean, Gene Stealer cults have been doing okay in conjunction with other Tyranids. I wonder what we're measuring here.
I don't think you can see. All right, sorry. I just assumed these were dense cover only. I didn't think
If you're fine, then I'll just shoot their shots into the Rangers right here.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. So I'll just have one more hit. So the 3 will hit there because that's not shooting through cover.
Yep.
And 2's the wind. So 3 wins.
We're good.
Yeah, Chad, I'm looking through the Waha
And then I'll do
or the
something with,
Warhammer community articles right now. There's
Star River 1.
nothing about
Just go
Tactica
that same
Obliqua.
Ranger squad.
You leave them alone.
But yeah, talking about GSC, they're kind of in a bad way right now, unfortunately. A couple of people
Here.
doing okay with them, but
So
they're
one's
usually
at
few and far between.
-3, and the rest are regular armor.
So they all dead. You got kill one.
Yay.
So it looks like
And then Melta. So 5
we
will
may
go
have
into the Raiders
shurikened
first.
a unit of
with,
Scutarii off the
with
table. That's
5
pretty
Melta.
intense. An Armisfil. The question was whether
Yeah,
or not you have
5
to
Melta
use
in
the Fire Overwatch stratagem to then use Tactica Obliqua. Because the Tactica Obliqua requires that you move instead of firing
Alright, so 5
Overwatch.
Melta, 3s, and your toughness is
3.
okay. So 2s. 4. Three go through. Am I within 3?
I guess it's worth looking at the
Within
Overwatch
3 of
rules
just
itself.
2.
To
Assuming you take one of the closer ones first. First one splats a guy. Second one will splat one. You taking that?
Well, I'll pull the guy within 3 inches first.
I had 2 within 3.
From Star River 1? Or
No, from 5. It clicks right on. Both ways, it's 3.
well, so if you look at your measure, the snap one, it's like off by like 0.1, 0.2 a lot of the time. Because you're using the snap one C2, there's this gap here that it's not measuring.
Oh, isn't that still measuring to the base though?
Well, it's not. If you look at it, right, it's not actually touching the base. It's snapping to right there.
Okay. Are you fine with just keeping the? I rolled a 3 and a 6 for the second one. Are you fine with just saying it kills one still?
Yeah.
Okay, since the lowest was still. Then the last one is just 2.
Okay.
And then number 1.
so chat,
will shoot.
just I
his-
think to put this argument to rest, looking at the core rules, Overwatch only applies to units that have an ability that allow them to fire Overwatch. So you have to have something unlocking your ability to Overwatch in order to use something that says instead of Overwatching. So, like, basically, no unit in the game can ever fire Overwatch, generally, unless you use the stratagem on them. So you wouldn't be able to replace that effect with something else unless you already have something telling you that you can shoot Overwatch. So it looks pretty clear to me that you have to spend the Fire Overwatch strat in order to use the Tactica move. So never heard of that
So
before in
just,
any other
2F?
forum but your show. Well, that's because not a lot of people read the rules there in Armazil. It's kind of a...
and this Starweaver will just take pot shots into the breachers. Yeah. So 4s and 3s. So 1 at -3 and 1 armor.
You good?
Okay. And that should be it for shooting. Yep. I'll put Starweaver 4 into the Raiders.
Oh yeah.
With a
Pump
charge.
those circus tunes,
Yeah,
chat.
charge.
That's fine.
Alright. Distance. 2. Go get there.
Sounds like Patrick's mic is a little. I'm gonna try to fix that, chat.
And then the yellow squad will go into the Raiders as well.
Okay.
Good old 9.
James Coulter, this music is how I feel when I play against Harleys. Alright, well, shooting's over. Let's take a quick wound count here. 1 Scorpius Disintegrator down to 1. One of them only took 3. We lost a unit of Skitarii Rangers, and it looks like most of a unit of Raiders. 6 out of 8 of this unit sort of on the right, next to Belisarius' call.
Alright, I'll spend 2 CP to give the yellow squad +1 damage. And we'll go ahead and swing with them first. So I should have everyone. Yeah. So 15 attacks. So hitting on 3s. And your toughness 3, so winning on 3s. So 8 at -2.
So this is, it looks to me like Dan has set up in such a way that his... Oh, that was... Oh.
I mean, if you want to get rid of that instead, I'm fine.
Dan set up in such a way that it doesn't look to me like his disintegrators are wrappable, especially with the way his Archaeopter has been placed.
Pile on 3.
He has Divinations of the Magos as his Warlord try to believe, but I don't think that lets him fall back and shoot. Unless he swapped it and didn't tell me. Yeah, swapping into Fabrications I think would have been really good in this matchup. I wonder why he didn't do that.
And then just the Starweaver next.
I thought you already declared a charge on that.
He still gets to activate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I believe the disintegrator's closest unit, so he has to pile them away. In the dog.
Yeah, as long as he ends closer to it. Well, actually. I'm just trying to think if I want to.
Oh, is that an engine war, chat? Oh, I didn't think to look up engine war. Now, let's take
Because I know I'm not going to get on the objective. I'm not worried about that. Well, I guess I actually could.
Can a tactical oblique stratagem be used even if the unit in question cannot fire Overwatch due to an ability, psychic power? Well, that's a bad question, because the tactical oblique ability doesn't actually require you to be able to, or the stratagem doesn't require you to be able to Overwatch.
I mean, it doesn't do anything.
The movement
Yeah,
requires you to be
I know.
able to Overwatch. You can use the stratagem and not get any benefit
If I
from
go
it.
here, I could just rotate
That's not a
up
good answer
around.
to that question. That's stupid. Come on, G-Dub. Get with the picture. Holy crap.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's embarrassing.
so
That's an
here and then
embarrassing
just-
FAQ, chat.
Consolidate 3.
Are you kidding me?
But you still have to go closer to the disintegrator.
No, shouldn't I? Why
You,
the disintegrator?
you ignore the plane for pile-ins and consolidates.
Oh, you do?
Slide.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well then, never mind. There's no point in me touching you and giving you free swings. My bad. So I'll just stay outside of an inch.
Okay.
So your swings then.
Okay. Oh, my one raider.
I mean, I would say the intent is clear.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. I didn't even pan over here. The blue squad was going to go into the Rangers. I wasn't even looking
if
at that
this
side
was
of the
8th
board.
edition, but I mean, it's not 8th edition, right? Like, the core rules governing Overwatch have changed.
If that's okay, I'll take it. If not, I'm perfectly fine with that as well.
I mean,
Hey, if it's too late, it's too late. You're not going to hurt my feelings at all.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I would rather that it was done at the correct time.
Nope. Yep, you're good.
Wait a second. Oh, never mind. So it was one save.
Oh, okay. I'll choose green dice. 3 up. Nope, takes 1.
And can the bikes chase, or is that just troop units?
Just troop units can chase.
Okay.
Narmasa, when I make
Or
calls, they
Crandall time.
translate into other games. What does that mean? Like a game that isn't 40k?
So morale then for that
Yeah,
guy?
just morale. Did you swing back with the disintegrator?
I did not. One save.
Let's roll your dice real quick.
Still living with bomber model choice
In
in
the
some
box.
games where people
Save.
put things not on the same bow rad. I'm confused.
So morale for that
I
solo guy.
apologize, Narmashell. I'm not sure what you're trying to say.
He's gone for the other dog unit. So they lost 7. So there's 8. So they both run.
So all the raiders taken out. No vehicles so far, though, for the Adeptus
That's about what I
Mechanicus.
expected if I went second. So that should be it from morale.
But only the disintegrators are engaged. Or only the
Then it's,
Belarus disintegrators. The other guys are ready to go.
Into my turn real quick. Linebreaker, it's wholly within, correct?
It should say on the.
Yeah, they're wholly within. Okay, so. And then I killed a total of 3 units. Is it the units destroyed from morale count towards grind them down? Into the battle round. Yeah, so into the battle round. I would assume so.
I don't know if morale destroys them. That's the question.
Yeah, we can worry about that later. We'll go ahead and switch turns.
Okay. We can get Trevi to look at it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just move it over to me.
How do I just click on your color?
I think so.
Oh, you switch them.
Oh, well, now I'm blue again. I'm red.
Okay,
There we
there we go.
Okay, well, that's fun. So this plane will just.
Yeah, you count as having been destroyed if you're fleed to morale. James Coulter, I think I read an FAQ that says they don't. Well, yeah, they don't count as being destroyed. No, they definitely count as being destroyed. I'm looking at the roll right now.
So I'm gonna advance him.
I'm sure that's for other things, like if you do like a reserve off the table kind of deal.
So fly with green bike.
I'm sure that that's why that clause is in there. Like they don't count as being destroyed if an airplane flies off the side of the table or whatever. Deuce 83. It's just Harlequins going first, and running up the table.
Touching that wall so you can see through the train.
It's Harlequins going first on long
so
table as
just
deployment too.
Validate.
So
So if I fall back here, you don't have any way to intercept me, correct?
Correct, they do not.
I imagine these Harlequins are just having, like, this music is just playing in their little, like, weird helmets all the time. They're living their best life over here, doing their thing. But honestly, that didn't feel like as bad to me as it could have been. I guess, like, basically losing a Scorpius Disintegrator kind of sucks. But there aren't that many games where you end turn one, like bottom of turn one, with that many Cerberus Raiders alive, especially if you deploy them so conservatively. Or sort of defensively, right, to block charges. Like, they kind of give their lives for the cause. Samoyer, is this an issue with 9th edition or more that armies are capable of hitting so far and so hard on the first turn? Would it be better to fix it or hamper armies that can do this or somehow mitigate first turn in general? This feels like sort of a very Harlequin sort of problem. They're so aggressive that they, terrain doesn't matter to them, and they can just push way up wherever they want to go. I don't know any other armies that can hit as hard as Harlequins do on the first turn, like in close range. I mean, stuff can shoot you off the table turn one all day, but I don't know how many armies like get up in your face and blow you up on turn one. Deuce 83, Chiandok had basically filled this entire area with Cerberus Raiders. So there was no way for the Harlequins to get a charge on anything that wasn't a Cerberus Raider, essentially. They shot at the Disintegrators. They did.
I'm doing the +1 move on the Mechanicus.
A grand total of, what is that, 14 wounds to Disintegrators? What is this music? Chad, I hope you're rocking out right now. Watching this sick game of Warhammer 40K. Yeah, it was
just so
like
you know,
most
if you
of the
fall
haywire
back, I
going
do
into
have a
the
strat where I
Scorpions.
can shoot at you.
Clown core.
Okay, that was what I had asked.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you meant like if I could like pursue you to stay locked in combat. So I can shoot at you, but they can't use the stratagem to consolidate at all. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. We'll just move them differently.
I mean, I think that's fine, right? Because I think they just shoot it. You just keep the wounded guy in melee, or they just shoot the wounded guy and you blow him up.
Okay, so he's gonna move there. I'd like to shoot at him. He can.
So then only the 2 can shoot at him, correct? Is it model by model or is it the whole squad?
It's by model.
Oh, never mind. He's still in it, so I could see him regardless. So yeah, I'll spend a CP for all 5 to shoot at him.
Okay.
So 5d6 shots. $20. Threes. Dense
And-
cover, so 4s.
And which strat is that? Kagroch's Jest.
I do it when you fall back after you finish your move. Providing no one else is within an inch, I can shoot you
the
as if it were
voice
the
of the
shooting phase.
laughing god. Oh no, we're out of Calliope. What's this one?
14 hits.
Oh, I'm sorry.
they're
No,
mine.
no,
Oh,
that's fine.
yeah.
Yeah, that was with the -1. So this is the D3.
Tevo, this is we're in bottom of round 1 here.
3.
We just started.
3. It's 10 mortal wounds and 3 saves.
So we'll pay the CP I got to do the ignore mortal wounds on him. So he takes 1 damage, and then how many mortals?
10 mortal.
Who is this against?
What's the 1?
That should be 10. He's at 9, you failed 8, and you failed an armor save.
So that's 9.
Yeah.
Cool. So he blows up my own armor.
Are the Skyweavers? Are they? They're not still engaged with the other Scorpions, right?
No, we were never engaged with that
they
one.
aren't engaged? Okay, cool.
Oh, I thought that they were.
No, we weren't. I didn't think I had the range to get to you. And you didn't attack with them.
Why can't I measure?
Yeah.
1.1 inches away.
Cool. So my chicken, 2 mortals.
Oh no!
Manipulate.
So the disintegrator dies to the fallback strat,
2 mortals.
and then explodes. All right. Well, we're rubbing salt in the wound here,
Makes
Harlequins.
1 kill the pain.
You guys y'all can calm down. Will H, how do you get the measurement circles in tabletop simulator?
3 mortals.
If you use Battlescribe to TTS, so like how the Shadow Seer has it, we'll just grab a Cerberus Raider over here on the side. If you use the numpad, so on the right-hand side, make sure your num lock is on, and you press the 4 and 5 keys, then it will create a little circle. So 4 increases the circle, and then 5 decreases the size of the circle. Bobby Hall's 40k mispronunciations are fab. Are we talking about Chegarak, the pronunciation of Chegarak? It's just to reiterate on that, Will, you do have to use the Battlescribe to TTS functionality. Otherwise, it's not built in, but that's part of the scripting of Battlescribe to TTS, so you have to do that. But once you do that, you get all sorts of cool stuff. You get those, you get the highlights, you get your data sheets in your tooltip and on the numpad 1 menu. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, I should have just used combat.
We're down to only 2 CP for the Harlequins, but at this point it might not matter. We'll see. Down a disintegrator sucks. At least this one that's on 1 is still kicking. I wonder if we strat to top profile it. And then just shuffle it up near Belisarius. I think I would do that. You're talking about mispronunciations. Can we make a video of the top 40k mispronunciations? The problem is, like, 40k is such gothic horror that there's so many weird ones. When I was a kid, none of my friends and I could pronounce Zinch. That's like, just looking at that phonetically, it's impossible. Like, what is this word? Belisarius call, more like Belisarius called out. There he goes. All right, he's in the middle here. Might want to get that guy next to those cataphrons, though. That is a lot of shooting that you really want to be hitting. I guess it's not that much shooting, to be fair. Is that how you say Belisarius?
Okay, well, I guess that's the
Yes.
end of the phase.
At the end, then I will jump the Shadow Seer.
Goodbye, Shadow
12
Seer.
inches.
What unit is between the Ballastarii and the Breachers? Those are Sicarian
That's
Ruststalkers.
still from the fire.
Everything else you'd like to do on my turn?
No.
Okay, so we're gonna drop both sets. We're gonna drop the first set of bombs on the green bikes. Three mortals, kills bike. Drop the second set of bombs in the same unit. Two mortals.
Yeah, let me know if that's better, chat, for the music. I'm trying to mix the audio so it's a little bit better.
Call is going to repair this tank.
Oh, yeah, we're fixing the tank. It's weird that Call doesn't repair flat 3. That's always, like, sort of felt, like, jarring to me.
I will spend
It
one.
doesn't even get him back to top profile. Or mid
repair it
profile.
again.
That's too bad. Oh, well, there you go. If you spend the CP to double repair, you can do it.
So it's a 4.
Fabio, is this the Canticle song? What would a Canticle song be, chat?
We're gonna
I imagine some, like, sort of Gregorian chanting.
He's going to shoot into the Skyweavers. I'm going to pay 1 for +2 to hit, and 2 for Wrath Mars.
So he's just hitting on 3s then.
On 2s.
Well, -1 for Skyweavers and -1 for Dense Cover.
He should be. He should be touching it. That's my intention.
You also can't stack
Yes, you'll be able to see through it.
multiple
It's
minus
scary.
ones.
Well, I'm already on it, so you'd be able to see me anyways.
Yeah, but if he's in it, then he doesn't have the penalty. But it's +2 for the data tether anyway. So
Okay.
Stubbers. Just gonna reroll everything for call. It's 2 explode.
Ooh. That wasn't that good. Oh, no. He's sitting on
2 mortal wounds. And 10 saves.
Ah, that's a pretty solid
Alright, so
round of
3
shooting from
ups.
some heavy stubbers, chat.
So 1 bike dies, and I take 2 mortals.
Boosh.
So,
Boosh.
dead bike. 1 mortal here. And we'll put a mortal. On that front guy.
I'm trying to find some chanting, chat. This is terrible. This selection is poor.
Missiles. 3. Roll for call. Twoon. 2 embles.
So we're trying to fish for mortal
3
wounds from the
ups.
divinations of the Magos to punch through the
Reload.
4+ invulnerable save.
Paramite cannon. Rolling. 1 explode.
I have to imagine that Dan's actually pretty happy that
4
that
saves.
second Scorpius wasn't engaged, so he can fall back and shoot with it. Or he doesn't have to fall back. He can just shoot with it.
And it kills 2 bikes.
Ooh.
What's the damage? 3?
It's flat 3.
Do I want to CP reroll one of these? I will CP reroll one of these. So the 2 is now a.
I was just playing Halo last night,
Oh, there's
Deuce.
one bike
That's
in behind
hilarious. I have a friend and I, we try to go through all the old Halo campaigns now that Master Chief Collection is out. Unfortunately, I don't know what it is. Like, the netcode is still so terrible because it's, like, so old.
Also, just atomizer into them.
We had so much trouble getting, like, connected.
It's 2 shots.
But, yeah, the soundtrack of that game is, like, ridiculous. Oh, my God. I forgot how good, like, the Halo 2, Halo 3 soundtrack was. Oh, my gosh.
2 involves.
Big cannon. Just kills on a failed invuln save here. Let's see some 1s and 2s. Boom! Wipes the unit, chat. Yeah! Oh, boy.
And then 1 damage.
Oh, he already shot the cannon. That was the missile launcher? Oh. Never mind. I got psyched.
Okay.
I thought we had already shot the missile launcher. I guess not.
Okay, so the breachers. So they're going to shoot into... What do these have in them? It's over here, right?
1 and 5, yeah. 1 is all blades, and 5 has 2 embraces. The blades don't have any AP to them. They're just close combat weapons.
So we'll put 3 that don't have exploding 6s into Star Weaver 1, and then the one that can explode is going to go into Star Weaver 4.
Okay.
Bobby Halls, I wonder how long Harleys can keep their reign up. Yeah, it's interesting.
Star Weaver
It
1.
feels to me like we might be, if Space Marines continue to be so powerful now that Eradicators, like, we know they're not being nerfed and they're going to be very good. If people move away from vehicles, they might be moving towards, like, sort of a more horde-centric army. And the interesting thing there is that Harlequins are obviously are excellent against vehicles, but are also good at killing hordes of dudes. Like, those Halo Arcanes are still a blast weapon, and they still have like 4 or 5 attacks apiece on their base infantry. So they can kill just swaths of, like, orc boys or guardsmen or whatever. So if the meta switches, I think Harlequins may still be good.
2. And this was 4.
But the other thing I like about Harlequins is that they're not. It doesn't feel to me like they're they're like this unbeatable monstrosity. Like, it's a very finesse game.
Yeah,
you and your opponent both have options
1,
to play out of it.
The 1 guy into Star Weaver 4.
And we might be seeing that here. I mean, I think the Harlequins are very much in the driver's seat, but we're about to see a ton of Harlequin models removed from the table. This
Oh, okay. I thought. All right, my bad. So this was, you said, into 1.
Yeah, these 3 are into 1, and then the single guy is into 4.
Gotcha. All right, so this one's destroyed. So just these 4 guys.
Okay, and then into the other Star Weaver.
This one's still
Real for call. Nothing. The Mechanicus will shoot into Star Weaver 3. Does not work.
Bunch of failed wound rolls here from these individual characters. I think we... Do we just have the Iron Striders left? They haven't fired yet.
So the Iron Striders are all going to shoot into the Green Skyweavers.
Yeah.
Okay.
+1 to wound them? No, they already wound on 2, so it doesn't matter. What am I talking about?
So they're -2 to hit, correct?
Well, yeah, but
you can't.
They're hitting on force.
Right, yeah. Oh, that's right. You already used the strap for the data tether.
Oh no, that was such a fail. Call save us. He doesn't really. Ooh.
Resaves.
Well, maybe we'll see some bad rolls here from the Harlequins. We do. Fortunately, these invulnerable saves are terrible so far.
Gets 1 bite. Kills 2 bikes.
Wipes 2 bikes off with the Iron Striders. We're getting there, slowly but surely.
Damaged.
What's our kills so far? We still have 1, 2, 3, 4 Starweavers on the table, but killed 8 bikes,
so
7
this
bikes.
Disintegrator, he's gonna
Half
shoot
of the bikes so far. Yeah, these invulnerable saves have sucked for the Harlequins.
He's gonna shoot his stubbers and
I
the
think
missiles
we're also
into
lining up a kill on the
Skyweaver,
Death Jester
this one,
too.
and then the energy
I don't
cannon
think
into
that
the
matters for the objectives. Yeah, we've noticed that.
This is Stubbers.
Yep.
I think you can just shoot the Shadow Seer at this point, right, Chad? Am I missing something?
Damn good roll.
Maybe the line of sight's a little
6.
awkward there. Yeah, I mean, the game's not over yet, right, chat? Like, obviously, the Harlequins have taken a bunch of casualties, but they still have a dominating position on the table and a bunch of guns left. Like, they haven't lost any fusion pistols yet.
Energy cannon into green.
So, you know, they're going to score a 15-point primary turn and then blow up a bunch of vehicles, and then we'll see how it goes next turn. But it is a ton of damage come out of this Adeptus Mechanicus army.
3 saves.
Basically to be expected, though. Like, if you put yourself in line of sight of an AdMech army, it's going to deal
right now, base?
ridiculous
He's hitting on
damage.
5s because he's got -1.
Okay.
He's
that's what I was
BS4.
Okay. So 3s. 2 fail. Are these the flat 3?
They're damaged too.
Okay, so 1 will die.
Wow, okay. 9 Skyweavers down.
Okay, well, could have gone worse.
That's-
These 5 Rangers here are
that's a
going to
turn.
shoot into the blue Skyweaver. One at AP1.
4 up.
I believe in you, Die.
1 takes away.
Go get them, Rangers. Good job, buddies.
This other unit into them.
Kind of happy these Rust Stalkers are here, too, for Chia and Doc. They're going to be able to clean up that Harlequin troop on Objective 4 very nicely. So we are going to start killing some fusion pistols, which is good. Eric, if the bikes whiff off the chickens next turn, the Harlequins are in pretty terrible shape. Well, if the fusion pistols, right? was that the Raiders killing or the
This plane here.
the
is gonna shoot
Rangers
everything
killing
in the Death Jester.
another bike? What is happening right now? Yeah, I mean, I think we may be out of the realm where the Weavers can
6H.
easily kill those Iron Striders. The Weavers and the Fusion Pistols can easily kill the Iron
6-2.
Striders.
Down to 3.
Okay, this other plane will also shoot him.
Is this one also BS4 now?
He's BS4, yes.
Okay.
I love this, the play by the planes to just try to pick off this character. Did we do it? No, just 1. Oh, that's only wind rolls. Saves? 2 go through?
Down to 1.
Does they? Oh, he's on 1.
Just for glad he's got 5 wounds. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
That's a heartbreaker. But I like that play just to pick off those Harlequin characters in the back. I mean, that's where Harlequins actually get a lot of their points because their army's so aggressive. Being able to put a Solitaire or a Death Jester in the back and just set them on an objective is very nice. So just trying to pick that guy off, I think, is the right call.
I'm going to declare the Iron Striders are going to charge the Skyweaver. Actually, hold on.
I don't believe that the
One
plane's
CP
advanced,
left.
no.
I have 1 CP left.
Yeah, we'll charge there.
I mean, they move 60, right? So, like,
No Overwatch.
Okay, well.
the planes have chaff launchers, so they don't have the. I don't believe they have
Keep
access to the
thinking
countermeasures
this is
trap.
unstable ground inside.
We can make it unstable ground if you want to.
All right. Iron Strider's charging. Okay. I don't know if that really gets you very far. That makes you much more difficult to shoot, I guess. Although this thing can fall back and do whatever it wants anyway.
Okay,
so.
we're going to declare call onto that Starweaver.
Oh boy, call with the big boy charge. Go get him, buddy. Call pretty reasonable backline melee threat to have. It's got a big old strength 6 axe for 2 damage and then a billion mecha tendril attacks. We even charged the wounded Scorpius in. All right. Why not?
Okay. Rust Stalkers into player unit 1.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Chad, how are we feeling about this game now?
Runs into the players also.
It looks like Chianzak may be angling to force an emergency disembark out of this Skyweaver. If he can fight first with Call and swing around to block this section and then get the Scorpius or the Iron Strider, so Call ends up here. You have a Scorpius or the Iron Strider here, and then the Iron Striders end up here. So there's no place to put that those
we're gonna
troopers.
Go to Disintegrator first.
I feel like there's a non-zero chance you just blow that thing up, though. Chad says the slapback was devastating. It was a lot of damage. And if we lose another Harlequin troop here, oh no, we're at 1 CP. Emergency disembark is 2, right? Or is it 1?
Can you put a 3-inch on this guy? Just want to see if we can.
Oh no, it's 1. Never mind. We still have enough for emergency disembark. So
so you'll have D3 attack.
So we could potentially have that troop survive, which will be okay.
3 wounds.
Oops. You gotta roll a hit.
Oh yeah. 2 hits. 2 wounds.
Whoa! Look at this disintegrator going. What's it doing?
1. 2.
Okay.
Rams him for a wound. Get got, dude. Yeah, I think most of the very successful Harlequin players that we've been seeing have tended to play very conservatively with their CP. And a lot of times, like, they'll have like 8 CP by the end of like round 1 or something, and they'll just spend like maybe 2 or maybe 3 to fire and fade and to curtain fall. We've been seeing a lot of people sort of force their way in, throw down the double prismatic blur, throw down the strats. And it's been tough to come back from that, especially if your turn 1
they're
does
not
poorly.
trying to kill you.
Oh, okay.
So finagling it, so only 2 Iron Striders are going to get in. 1 wound. Saves it, and we're going to try to kill this thing with Belisarius Call. All right, buddy, go get him. Yeah, it's still anybody's game right now. Chad, I think I agree with you. I mean, also, there's haywire cannons on the side of the table, right? Like, if anything could explode, absolutely blow up,
Okay,
and
so we'll Call. He's going to use his axe.
Rip a bunch of vehicles off the table.
Attacks with the Mechadendrites.
Things could go very, very quickly. In the Invitational, I think we saw one of my favorite stories from that tournament was we saw one single haywire cannon destroy a Whirlwind Scorpius. No big deal. It just died.
What's the damage?
Your damage 1.
Is this the Mechadendrites?
Oh,
yes.
that he dies to the dendrites.
2 attacks.
3 reroll. I feel like it's
What's
not
emergency
worth it.
disembark?
Definitely
Is it 2
do not
CP?
reroll right now.
I believe so. I don't know offhand.
It's 1 CP. Yeah,
That's what
Matt
the 6
Green in the
inches, correct.
chat. Players asking me what it
I'm not sure. I think so.
Yeah, you set up wholly within 6 inches.
Okay. Then I'll just let those go through.
All right, saving the CP for the
Do
disembark.
I blow up?
This explosion would be hilarious.
Nope.
No.
I got 6 guys inside.
I apologize, Matt Green in chat.
Oof, 3 players.
It's 1s and 2s, I believe, for that.
Oh, you're right. Yes, it's 1s and 2s. So 4 players die. Which boat was that? 4?
Yep.
4.
Wow, 4 die to disembark. Oh my gosh. All right, well, that's what we needed to see here
Oh,
Okay, the
no.
force
off of the
Sure.
AdMech to make this really, really tough.
Why are you skipping 6? Oh, well, that's the wrong player, first of all.
283 had Saris kill my
Okay.
full health rhino a couple days ago with his shooting attack. Oh, gross.
I'm trying to look for the character. It's kind of hard to see my smokestack and select him.
Looks like we may have locked a character inside the Starweaver. What are we doing here, Trent?
I don't see a character.
I don't think there's a character in there. I don't know what we're
Should
talking
be the one
about.
that had the Warlord in it.
Oh my gosh.
All right, well, I'll go ahead and just place down the 2 characters. Yeah,
Drop
there he
some
is.
pings over on this guy. Is this one back on objective 5? Is that the one you're looking for? He's got a troop master next to him.
No, I was looking for the one on Starweaver 4. Go ahead and drop it whenever you're ready. I got the character.
Oh, I'm locked into my ping.
The Rust Stalkers, they're OBSEC, correct? I'm not even going to try that, actually.
I'm going to send it back to an isometric view here, champ.
Oh yeah, your guys would just die if they went over there anyway.
Yeah. So this is destroyed. Okay.
Okay, so we'll activate the Rust Stalkers.
All right, so that's a big deal. 4 fusion pistols off the
So
table.
we'll have,
We have the opportunity to try to cut out Belisari's call here, so that's good. But I think that's going to lose grind for the Harlequins. They only killed
so
2
9
units.
attacks with the razors,
3 units.
and then 4 with the cord claws.
And lost 2 Skyweavers. And, or 2 Starweavers and a Skyweaver unit, yeah. So they are going to lose grind. Oh, second game in a row, chat. We've seen grind it down, get picked, and get absolutely teched against.
In T3.
So 1 mortal wound and 4 saves.
So 4 ups. That'll be the squad.
Oof. Ruststalkers stalked their way out of those Harlequin players. At Valdor.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did not mean to do that.
Welcome to the game. Yeah, it's been an interesting game. The
It's like in real life when someone touches your models.
Did we delete the Ruststalker unit by accident?
You get mad.
The Harlequins went first and sort of went face.
Because it's always the guy who does it has like ham hands, and he just like it drops it 2 seconds after he picks it up.
Yep.
Went absolute face
You're
into this
like,
Admech
dude, come
army,
on.
killed all of their Cerberus Raiders, and really messed up a Scorpius Disintegrator, but
you engaged
weren't really
Starweaver
able to
5?
convert it. And the swing back
Yeah,
from
the
the
guys inside don't get to fight,
Admech
right?
has been
Correct, they
devastating.
do not get to fight, but they can shoot when they fall
Killed
back. so.
10 Skyweavers, 2 Starweavers, a full 1.5
That's fine,
units of
exchange
Harlequin
in
players,
advance,
like
basically.
just crazy
Correct,
damage.
yeah. I just want to make sure you know.
So the Harlequins will end up with a pretty
I
significant
fucked up.
primary lead.
Oh, you're right. That was not the Warlord Troop Master. That was just the basic Troop Master.
You forgot your charge over here, and I forgot my charge over here. So congratulations to us.
We're just both focused on like half the board.
Yeah, I think those Rangers.
I'm like, I need to take that objective from him with OPSEC, and then like we'll just stand here instead. It's a better plan.
So anyway, it's been interesting.
I think that's it.
And that's my story. Yeah, Quins are out of CP. They burned it all early.
Oh, yeah, so my attacks.
We got the double prismatic blur going. We got the +1 damage
3
strat
attacks from the
down.
Starweaver into the Ruststalkers.
Just everything dropped in on the Harlequins turn 1.
4s and 3s.
And
2 hits.
I think
That's in the Cataphrons.
little bit blew their load a little early.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. And the Cataphrons. I still don't land.
Okay.
Line breakers, end of turn, so I don't get it, right? Yeah, end of your turn. So I did not have that during your turn, or during my turn. And I don't get grind them down.
So it's over to you.
Alright, I go up to...
So we should have 3 on bring it
1
down
CP.
for the Harlequins. We'll go ahead and give that to him. Back to Harlequins,
I hold
top of 2. Looks
1,
like they'll
2,
get
and
15, right? Yeah.
Yep, because I forgot to charge. Genius.
The AdMech, so the Harlequins are trying to score line breaker. Should be pretty reasonable now that they have these troops
a little
in the
bit
back.
better than I thought it would have, but
I need a morale actually on this one Skyweaver. I don't know a 5 or a 6. I'm Gucci.
David Gaylord, Quins to grind. Yeah.
6 and they run.
Little interesting pick for a army with five wound transports.
Nope,
I think they were expecting the Rangers and the Cerberus Raiders to sort of, I guess, be easy pickups, and they could score grind and play like kind of a cagey game early. Maybe the Quins just playing for second player and then got first and took it. I think it's almost definitely, given the games that we've seen so far, it's almost never the answer to take grind them down, I think. And it's especially bad if you're going first. All right, it's back to the Quins' turn, so we're going to give them some
and the
some
Troop
circus
Master's
music.
gonna hop out. We'll scoot here for now.
Eric Kilmore was part of what made Quins tougher to play in 8th edition. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Definitely they gave up a ton. And you could almost always take Blake Butcher's bill against them, right? To get the double kill in a turn and
chill on this objective.
And score your points that way. Yeah, I was trying to find some Gregorian chants, chat, but the library I'm on doesn't really have any. I'll do a better job next round. Next turn, I promise.
Over here. He should have range to these guys. Can you just double check? Because if not, I'm not going to put him here. I know this is 5.9, but it should be 6 without the auto click. Okay. That's it for movements.
Let me roll Mechanicals real quick.
Oh yeah.
We'll change the 3 to a 2 with call.
Yeah, I can see an argument for not taking engage on the long table edge deployment stuff. The corner deployment ones where you're in corners like this or the sweep and clear sort of
Skyweaver
deployment zones. Those are usually very good for engage, but the long table edge is a little tough. I don't really blame them for not taking engage. They also took line breaker instead.
10.
So they're playing line breaker here.
3.
guess you could. There's
Give
an
him
argument for
pilot in the
dominate, but
game.
that's like a 0 pointer if you don't go first, so that would suck. And this is also a 6 objective map,
Six
so
one.
you would it would be not very
And
not
show
very
mirror
good.
mines in as well.
I think I like line breaker in this case. Yeah, 10 dip bikes dead, Shuma,
Hold on, let me
on the
why I
Admech
stick
turn.
to that. I lied. We're going to Twilight Pathways the Shadow Seer instead. Doesn't go off. All right. So shooting phase.
Well, I guess she's staying there then, huh?
Yep. Shadow Seer will go ahead and
Chickens
shoot
killed
the
2, I
disintegrator with the
think.
grenade launcher.
The Ferromite disintegrator killed a billion.
Hits.
Killed like 2 or 3.
Well, 2d6 to your
By
leadership.
itself.
If I equal or beat it, you take d3 mortals. So I equal it.
The chickens.
Well, he has a data tether, so he's leadership 9.
What?
Because he's within 3 inches of himself.
That's lame. Okay. Never mind then. That doesn't do anything. The single Skyweaver into the 4-wind flyer.
But
shot.
the Scorpius disintegrator
Fours,
comboed Wrath of
one
Mars off with the exploding Sixes aura, I think, on
no
the
wound.
Manipulus. And just
The Death Jester will go ahead and just shoot at him.
I think Mortal wounded like 1 bike to death and shot like 2
single
more to
shot
death.
profile.
It almost soloed the unit that was here.
Into the
And
And then the
zone.
Iron Striders, I think, did a bunch
3
of damage
shots
to the guys
into
back
forward
here.
Guy.
I mean, your whole army
So
shooting at 10
threes
models will
to
eventually
hit.
kill them.
With
Like,
-1.
you'll get there.
3 hits and strength 6, toughness.
And then he was able to clean up 7
so
players in
one
melee
wound,
as well, which is pretty good. And between melee and vehicles being destroyed.
All right. 5 Melta shots into the Ranger squad on the back objective.
Yep.
4 hits. 2s. 3 wounds.
Yeah. Turns out Scorpius disintegrators are still really good. Well,
And then
what a shocker.
6 shots from the vehicle itself.
Too bad they're not like 110 points anymore.
3 hits. 2s. 2 wounds.
Interested to see what the core keyword did to Admech. Seems like it's going to tone down a lot of their shenanigans. Yeah, I hope it. Honestly, I hope it doesn't.
And then I'll put
I
the
hope
3 bikes into those 2
Admech,
guys.
gets core on vehicles and stuff like that. Like that would make a ton of sense. But if it's just their infantry, I don't know how that faction recovers. They're kind of
3d6 shots.
their vehicles are sort of important to their game plan.
9. 3s and
Like imagine anybody playing Castellan robots again if you
threes.
can't reroll with them. Like you already don't play those guys, and if they're not core,
so
like
2
yeah,
of minus
okay.
1. They're real happy back there.
They're very happy with themselves right now.
All right, Starweaver 3 will put his 6 shots into those 2 guys. 3.
Kid Crew Gaming think they could have a keyword similar to
Twos.
demons, but for robots, so they could be affected instead
3
of
wins.
core.
1 dice.
Like if they had sort of an alternate core mechanic, like where some of their models would
Oh, I messed
would
that
give
up.
rerolls to
Trying
specific
to
types
call
of units. I think
closest.
that would be interesting. I thought that's what core was going to be, to be honest.
Okay.
But it was just sort of a catch-all kind of weird thing.
So the player 4 squad into the Iron Strider.
Yeah, Castellan robots are elites, I think, right?
Okay.
I got them out. Okay. Yeah. 2 fusion pistols. No hits.
Oh no, they're heavy support.
Because
Just
you're
kidding.
-1. And then the Troop Master into call. Hits call. A wound call. 1 wound on call.
That's good.
allotment felt very sort of fluff justified, and I sort of hated it.
All right.
Like Triarch Praetorians are not core,
guys
even though like
inside
they're
Star
same
Weaver
kit
5
as
into
Lichguard,
the
because
Scorpius.
they're Triarch units, so they can't be core because they're dynastic agents. Like, what? Get the F out of
That's
here.
right.
That's
That
too
makes
many.
zero
Yep.
sense.
I'll just take away a hit if that's fine. 5 into the Scorpius.
Yep.
It
So
definitely
4
felt
hits,
like a way for GW to sub-tribe
and
their
I try and
factions,
grab more dice again.
but it's like that's not a good
And
choice.
3s to wound.
Like just make
6
stratagems in auras only affect certain types of units if you want to do that. Like if you want Primaris captains to only
First
reroll
one
stuff for your Primaris infantry,
does
just make it reroll for
2.
Primaris infantry. Just leave it at that.
Second one does 6.
So he's a 4.
Yeah, it's really
The
it's really sort of a toxic mechanic for Necron specifically. For
Troop
sure.
Master will shoot at it. He hits. Yep.
And he's in which one?
The Troop Master on foot, right in front of it.
Oh.
I'll
Bart,
CP
the low
that.
amount of core in the Necron's
And you
Codex
were
is
doing
offset by the
-1,
huge
right?
amount of core in Astartes.
I was not doing -1.
Yeah,
This is
right.
touching,
There's an average amount of
So then I am
there's an
not
average
using
amount of
CP
core
'cause I miss.
across the game. It's fine.
I think Great Harlequins only in combat, anyways.
Kid Crew Gaming Fusion Pistols
Yeah.
did not get the new melter rules.
Okay, so he misses.
Also, this pod would not be using them either way.
And then the 5 guys and 3. We're gonna shoot at the Iron Striders. Is that what I want to do? Yeah, we're gonna shoot at the Iron Striders.
James Coulter, we're not going to talk about how
5 shots.
one troop squad survived 1 billion volleys over
Hitting on 4s.
which troop
And
squad?
wounding on 3s. So 3 wounds. Nice. Damage. 2.
Squad on objective 1.
he takes 2.
Oh, this ranger unit? Yeah, for sure.
That was
Surviving like
bad
boss.
shooting. Combat then.
Yep.
Troop Master into call.
Okay.
No, we're talking about Admech invuln saves, Valdor. The significantly worse kind of invuln saves.
This is the basic Troop Master, right?
This little guy back
Correct.
here.
The one with just a kiss.
Oh my god, my zoom is so slow. I apologize.
So 6 inches.
This little guy back here. Look at this guy. What a boss he is. He's like, he's staring down like fusion pistols and
then
stuff.
the
He's like, I don't give a
players
crap.
into call as well.
Okay.
5. The Shadow Seer into the Disintegrator.
Okay.
8. Starweaver 2 into the single Ranger.
Yep.
8.
We'll see if he can get run over by one star.
The 2 Skyweavers into the Rangers right there. 2 inches, I think. Yeah, it'll still get me there. Go straight ahead.
Yeah, Call, unfortunately, about to get a Twilight Fang up his bum.
Um,
Maybe he'll be okay.
Starweaver 5 into the Scorpius.
Yep.
9.
Oh, is this not the Twilight Fang guy? Oh, no, the Twilight Fang's over
And
here.
then the Troop Master into the Scorpius and the Tech Priest.
So you're gonna be able to move through this
4.
without getting within an inch?
Yeah. Well, I ignore enemy models when I do it, regardless. I believe that's everything I'm charging with.
David Gaylord might be back-to-back 0-point primary for
no,
AdMech. Could still be winnable.
The Skyweaver will go into the flyer down here.
Yeah, it looks like the AdMech secondary picks have been a little awkward. Assassinate, obviously, pretty clear one. Unfortunately, haven't scored it yet. But Deploy Scramblers could be awkward. I don't know what his center Deploy Scrambler unit's going to be.
All right, so I will activate...
Although he does have... does he have anything in reserve?
The Troop Master on call first.
I don't think there's anything in reserve, so...
So
yeah, the secondaries also might run away from AdMech here.
Hitting on 2s.
You could score 10 or 11 on engagement all friends, but then other than that, it could be tough.
So wounding on 5s, rerolling. So 3 wounds at -1.
One goes through.
D3 damage. 2. I'll activate the players next.
Hold on. So what did the players have?
They had kisses as well.
Maybe considering an interrupt here. Where do you interrupt? I wonder if the question is whether we interrupt on objective 2 to try to obsec that away.
4 attacks each.
And
feels
they
like
don't reroll the hit roll, right? But they roll the wound.
It feels like call is probably pretty safe. Like they're hitting for D3s,
I'm gonna pay
but
2. We're
it's
gonna
only
interrupt these
-1.
rangers in here.
Yeah, so I think the goal is that the one ranger survives, and we can consolidate him onto the objective before the Star Weavers can pin him, or the Sky Weavers can pin them. And then, worst case scenario, you'll have 5 points on the objective if one guy survives there, which is a pretty reasonable chance. They do only save on 6s. The Sky Weavers are 9 attacks, though, so if they flub their hit roll, could go poorly. But 9 attacks have to convert to kill 5 models is like 3s and 3s. Should only kill 4.
4 up. Nope, guy takes him.
Ha! Rangers got him for 1. These Rangers also just punching these guys are kind of hilarious.
I don't know how to work this freaking timer. There we go. All right.
Back to you.
So the 8 players on the call then, or the 8 attacks. 3s and 5s. 3 hits. 5s. 3 wounds. -1.
Yeah, it should be fine. Yeah, Call doesn't give a crap about that.
4, 1.
He about to kill himself some Harlequins with his little mechadendrites. Snip, snip.
The Troop Master down at the bottom. He's going to put... what's the save on the Mechanicus? 2 up.
All right, Chan. I'm going to step away for a moment. I will leave you just with the player mics for right now.
So he'll put 4 into the Mechanicus.
Caesarius, why are Castle and Robots no longer being played?
No, I'm sorry.
They're
5 into the Mechanicus.
They're very
Okay.
There's kind of one-dimensional. Big issue with them previously was that you would just engage them and they would never like shoot again. That's still a problem. They're vehicles, so fortunately they can shoot at melee now. But like if your opponent doesn't play into your game plan, then they won't do anything, and that's already an issue that AdMech has. So they don't really add anything new to an Adeptus Mechanicus army. Like an AdMech army that can draw a clear line of sight to you will just kill you. You're probably gonna lose in a direct gunfight with an AdMech army, unless you're like maybe Space Marines. And Castle and Robots just pushed you like over the edge. You're like, I'm gonna win even harder now. So it's sort of a tomato soup thing. Like you're just adding tomato soup. Whereas stuff like Scorpius Disintegrators and Cerberus Raiders give you like different game plans to play. So like Disintegrators can take indirect fire, so you don't have to just win a straight out gunfight. The Raiders can buy you board space and play for objectives. And so units like that are generally a little bit more efficient. They're also very expensive. It's a lot of points in eggs in one basket. That's relatively inflexible. Ooh, Troopmaster with Twilight Fang.
And then
Looks like knocked out the Faramite cannon. That's a big deal.
Wounds to the Mechanicus.
Cool, he's dead too. That was fun.
And then I will spend a CP, my last one, to consolidate the Troopmaster into the Starweaver. Starweaver
Does he get
2.
to make a consolidate or a move?
He consolidates, and well, so it's the faction specific one. When he consolidates 6 inches towards the nearest transport, and if I end that move within 3 inches of it, I can immediately embark upon it.
Okay.
Then Starweaver 2 will put 3 attacks into Ranger Alpha, hitting on 4s and 3s. 1 wound.
It's good.
All right, and then I have 9 attacks from the Skyweavers into the Rangers down here. Hitting on 3s. And wounding on 3s.
Are they strength 4?
Yeah, strength 4. Oh no, these are bolas.
You
I'm
don't
sorry.
have weapons.
Yeah, they're bolas. So 4 wounds.
Cool, 4 die.
Starweaver 5. This goes 3 inches. And the Troopmaster and
He's closest to the breachers for him, wasn't he?
3.5. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. And I'm still closer than 3.5. Yeah, and then Shadow Seer into this Disintegrator.
Okay.
T7. So 3 attacks. Hitting on 2s. Wounding on 5s. 2 at -2. No, I'm sorry, 2 at -1.
So 1 goes through.
So D3 damage for 3.
That's interesting. I will pay 1 and force him to explode.
Okay.
Shadow Seer, 1 mortal. Troopmaster, 2 mortals. Players, 3 mortals. And the Iron Striders, 2 mortals.
And call.
Takes 3.
And then the Rust Stalkers are also within 6 inches. I'm sorry, and then my single Skyweaver into the guy down here. 3 hits, because the -1 is only in shooting, correct?
Yep.
All right. 1 at -2.
It's good.
Happy. I'm just gonna go 3 down. Okay. And then your attack's back.
So call will put this guy can fight when he dies or something like that, right?
No. I'm out of CP anyways.
And they both have 4 up bolts.
Yes.
And the Troop Master, you're out of CP.
Yeah, I'm out of CP.
So he's gonna put the 2d6 attacks into the Troop Master and the axe into the Shadow Seer.
Okay.
So go on the Shadow Seer first.
Then it's -1 to wound.
So 2 impulse.
4 ups.
So she takes 4.
All right. So Shadow Seer dies.
2d6 into the Troop Master.
Yeah, chat. Almost
She's
all
one
AdMech
wound.
had ignore
She's dead.
moving and shooting
Doesn't it? It all happens at the same time though,
in 8th edition.
right?
Well, maybe if they were the same weapon, but it's a different weapon. So
Okay.
that weapon's already been resolved, I believe.
It takes 2. Down to 1. Yep.
Okay. This ranger into that.
Oh, that ranger survived on objective 1. I apologize, Chad. I stepped away.
Takes a wound.
Oh, and he punches the Star,
into the
the
Star
Star Weaver for 1. No way.
That's a hit.
Oh, that's actually a giant swing for AdMech because they're going to score 10 points primary now.
You hit on.
Because
Oh,
these weapons
yeah, your
go
weapons
5.
go
Unless they
5.
run away,
Wow.
I guess.
Okay.
But
So
it's only strength 6, so it doesn't.
yeah, it's still. Oh yeah, it's round 2-4. So
Wow.
morale for you.
Well, we
So
have a
it's
game on
helpful.
our hands, Chad.
He lost 4, so he's gone. And the other guy, he should be fine because he lost 4.
Okay, so we lost the 1-on-1, so we're only going to score a 5-point primary, it looks like, or a 10-point primary
Okay.
still.
So over to me.
1, 2.
I don't have to
versus
start your
2.
timer. I do get line breaker this turn though.
Where?
Got 3 on assassinate.
Yeah, that would have been a big swing, I think, if we had this alive, right? Because that would have been 1, 2,
So this
3 for
plane,
AdMech to
I get my
just
point.
1. So that would have been a 5-point swing right there. Wow. AdMech pushing right back. That's crazy. So maybe, chat, maybe you were right that early game aggression was a little bit too hard out of the gate for the Harlequins.
This plane is going to hover. Well, I guess he's going to have to move. That's fine.
Is he hovering then or no?
No, he's not.
Okay.
He had to go farther, so.
Trying to find some good
They're gonna be
some good
deploying
chanty
scramblers
music
there at
for
the end
us,
of the
chat.
movement phase.
Okay.
Oh, call heals D3.
Yeah, generally the bomber I think is the best for the mortal wound output.
3, 6, 5.
I think it's also the cheapest, besides maybe the transvector. But it's definitely cheaper than the
I'm gonna
fighter.
use the restroom real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I should probably start the clock there. Yeah, Fuselab is 130, yeah. Yeah, Transvector doesn't feel to me like it has the carrying capacity to really be worth it. I don't know if I've ever seen a Transvector like do a lot. But the bomber always like it, it's just guaranteed damage output basically. And then also having a bunch of heavy stubbers, just put it anywhere on the table you want is really nice. Yeah, the double pivot, I think, is what really makes them. The bombing abilities to tend to be pretty limited in scope if you don't have a double, or if you don't have extra maneuverability. But the fact that the Fuselab can gets the additional pivot is crazy. Makes it very, very reliable to get those hits off. A lot of times you're stuck doing like a ring around the edge of the table, and if nobody's there, you're not really hitting people with the bombs. Or maybe you can get something like that going on, but it's usually pretty limited where your bombing runs can actually take place. But this thing just gets to go like woo, it just runs over whoever it wants. Yeah, it also hovers. I mean, generally you don't want to hover, right? Because then it's probably dead. But that definitely helps for sure. Maybe it'll change so you can drop bombs and then fly off the table.
Okay, so in the movement phase, they're doing scramblers. This plane.
This looks like a Rust Stalker's made it to the center.
On the Death Jester. So it does not kill him. The other plane will also drop on it. So one more wound.
Oh, got him with the bomb.
Or did they both fly in a flight path? Well, only one would be able to drop bombs with the way you have them.
Well, they can move twice, so I could just put this, this guy here, right. And then.
But with the way this last one's orientated, he can't. Because he was angled down, so he'd have to go down and then upwards.
So he would just be facing this way then.
Well, I mean, you can't undo it now.
Okay.
Did you want to drop bombs instead on the Skyweaver?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So he takes a mortal.
Call's going to repair the Iron Shredders. 2.
Can he heal himself and another unit?
Yes. The healing himself is a different ability. It's the self-repair mechanisms.
No, if you say yes, that's fine. I believe you. You don't have to tell me what it is.
Well, no, if you just hover over him, see that he has the ability self-repair mechanism. So all the Megoses heal themselves and then they repair.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go to the Iron Striders. I'm going to pay 1 to give them +2 to hit. This one in the front is going to shoot the Skyweaver up there. He should have line of sight to his base.
You do.
I'm going to put this one right here into Starweaver 5. And then the other 2 are going to go into the Starweaver with the Troopmaster.
That is Starweaver 5.
Or Starweaver 2. So okay, 1 into the jet bike, 1 into 2, and then 2 into 5.
You got it.
So in the bike, it should be... Yeah, we're fine.
Valdor, can we talk about how Patrick listed his faction as Astral Cons in BCP? Did he? I didn't notice that.
Into the bike. So 4 ups. 1 save. Just don't roll a 1.
I will re-roll it.
I think that's like one of the top ones. It feels like a misclip to me.
To another one. Go me. Okay, 2 into Starweaver 2.
It's like right under, or I guess it's in Space Marines though, so you have to pick that specifically, do you?
2 wounds.
2 4-ups. Save 1.
2 damage.
Down to 3.
And then into the other one. 4 saves.
2 go through. Do I explode? No. This is 2.
Yeah, that is annoying.
6. All good.
Where's he listed as Dark Mechanicus? Oh, I just realized my playlist turned off. How will we know what turn it is without our annoying chants? We're back. We're back. Although I just looked for organ music this time around, and I think I get a lot of like horror music stuff, so I don't know. Be prepared for that. I feel like tech priests sort of have an element of horror to them already. Like they're attacking you with tentacles coming out of their body. I don't know. It seems pretty gross.
True Masters, actually.
Pod 10. Yeah, we should. We'll get that fixed up.
Okay.
Okay, so this plane over here is going to shoot all his stubbers into player unit 2.
Yeah, it would be hard to misclick into Dark Mechanicus for sure. Yeah, Astroclaws are under Space Marines, I think. It would have to be like one of the Adepti in order for it to be really, really a misclick. We'll get that fixed.
4 saves.
4 ups. 3 drop.
I definitely support, if you want to do silly things in BCP, I definitely support making your team name ridiculous.
The Breachers are all going to shoot the Troopmaster.
But yeah, if you're joining an event on BCP, don't play around with your faction. It's already hard enough to track factions with people like.
I thought he still had to be the closest.
No, that he only has to be the closest if he's being covered. So there's no 3 model troop unit, and there's no vehicle within 3 inches of him.
Okay.
But it's with people accidentally setting the wrong faction in BCP, it's hard enough to track stats without people doing weird stuff. It's also strange for locked lists too, because you can set your faction before your list get locked, and then you can dump whatever list in there you want, which is a little bit weird.
Damage.
3 damage.
So definitely don't do that.
Down to 2.
PSA for the day. Set the right faction. And play all your games. So how are we feeling about this game so far, chat? Are we still in the camp that Eldar can hold out? It seems like they're sort of fighting a losing battle
so
at
this
this point.
plane's going to shoot everything into the Skyweavers.
Although the Twilight Fang guy's still alive, and that guy could deal a boatload of damage. Now we're on like some smooth jazz stuff.
6 saves.
That one bike dies.
Where did
This
this come
one,
from?
and this one takes a wound.
Okay, so charges. I'm going to declare a charge with the Iron Striders into. Just going to go into the Troopmaster. See what that looks like.
David Gaylord, a little confused how the Quins didn't stop AdMac from getting primaries turn one. It was a little bit of dice, I think. We had everything here died, right? Like all of the players that were standing here got blown up, so it didn't really matter.
So 4 inches.
But we had a ranger here survive just barely and to obsec that objective away. That's where the 10 points came from.
Cool.
It seemed likely that Chiandak was going to get 5. The 10 points is a little unlikely, but
the Starweaver and the
that's how it
Troopmaster.
is.
Okay.
Aircraft can control points. Can they? I guess I sort of assumed that they couldn't, but I hadn't actually looked.
So I'll just go to the Breachers first and the Troopmaster.
Mm-hmm.
Five saves.
Fail 1.
Yep.
What's the damage?
It's damage 1.
it's- my attack's back.
Yep.
Troopmaster, 7. Yeah. Hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s.
What does he reroll 1s from?
Great Harlequin. And wounds. Strength 5. Your T 4 or 5.
Your T5.
Alright, so 6 at -3.
Two damage. Kill 2.
And then 2 mortal wounds on top of it.
Okay. I'll activate call onto the Troopmaster.
Yeah, so under the objective
yeah.
markers rules in the core rules, aircraft cannot control them.
Forgot all about that guy over there.
I had to look that one up. Whew. I think I just assumed that they'd carried over from 8th, but I never actually read the rule myself.
5 saves.
I'm glad I hadn't been mistaken this entire time. Yeah, you don't. If you hover, you don't not count as an aircraft anymore. You're still an aircraft. You just lose the minimum movement requirements and stuff.
I think that's it.
Can the breachers fail morale or no?
They're good.
Tempest definitely can, though.
All right, and then my players.
They are not aircraft. They are just fast attack.
I lost 3. They're 8, so they're good. All right, start of my turn, gain a CP, and I'm on 2 objectives. Yeah.
I guess that's worth checking if the Archaeopters are aircraft. I'm 99% sure that they are. That would be crazy to me. But who knows? We've seen crazier weird rules on GW's data sheets. They are most certainly aircraft. Yeah. Yeah, there was a definition of aircraft in 8th edition, where I think if you were a flyer with a minimum move characteristic or something, then you gained like the aircraft distinction per the core rules in 8th edition. But that was like an afterthought, I think, after some weird rules interactions came up, if I remember correctly. But yeah, a bunch of stuff looks like it. I think just got keyworded it later. Heldrick doesn't have a minimum move though, James Coulter. It's just runs kind of fast.
Let's go here. We'll get out and move into the spot. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, there we go. I had to switch headsets.
Is there anything hiding under these planes right now? Let's take a look here. Looks like this guy on objective 3 is clear.
And the Troop Master will fall back into it.
Objective 1 is clear of Harlequins. So we're literally just down to like the Masters and 7 players and a couple of jet bikes and stuff. Yikes. His Death Gesture somehow still alive. Survived the bombs last turn.
I think this is it for movement. Looks like it. Shooting. We're going to do the 5 players from squad 3 into the Iron Striders.
Kasazi in the chat. How's it going?
So, hitting on 4. Wait, you're -1 still, correct?
It's been a pretty exciting game so far.
Okay. Yep,
Harlequins
so
went first
hits.
again, but went face probably a little bit too hard into an Adeptus Mechanicus army. Got shot up turn 2, and we're going to see how they can work it out.
Okay.
Yep, within 3. So the first one will deal 6.
Okay, and the second one?
Samware,
Second one will deal 5.
the wings do not count for passing over units. Only your base counts for measurement.
The transport then will shoot into them.
I mean, the Adeptus Mechanicus army, I mean, it's
so
mostly
6
like 2
shots.
flyers and then this like castle back here. It's a lot of Iron Striders. Looks like they're getting fusioned right now.
4.
There's also some Sicarians. I guess we'll go to ISO again.
And
there's some Sicarians in this building.
6.
You can't really see them very well.
So 4, so 1 wound. Norby.
It's kind of a skirmish. It's spread out all over the table.
Okay.
Good. The 2 single players into them. Their fusion, both miss. And then the 5 players and the troop master in the boat. Yeah. 2 miss. Troop master's red. 2 wounds.
One of the pivots is at the start of their movement, so they can't 180
So
during
one
their
will
movement.
die.
They can only do it 90 degrees.
One's on 1. And the last one.
If they're like right next to you and do
6.
like move like 2 inches and then turn and hit you again, maybe it's a little tough though. But they don't do like loop to loops. They don't like go all the way around in one go.
Starweaver 3 will put his shots into the Ranger. Yeah. So 3s and 2s. Uh, 3 at -1. Uh, 2d6 shots from the Skyweavers into the full wounded flyer. 6. So 4s. And 4s. So 1 save and 3 mortals.
Then
Then
roll
these...
mechanicals.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Just change those to call.
Okay. And then d6 shots from the Skyweaver into the Ruststalkers.
Yep.
One. I hit. I wound.
Yeah, get haywired, bud.
And then combat. The 5 players into the Iron Strider.
Sure.
Oh, no. I'll CP reroll that. Yeah. New result. 7. I'm sorry, 8. And the intention is to try point you.
Sure.
Well, you can't fall back and shoot, can you?
Nope.
I'm not going to risk all that movement, so I'll just skedaddle around. And then the 2 players into the Breacher.
Sure.
7. The Skyweaver into the Ruststalkers. 7. All right.
Getting rid of those Ruststalkers would be a big deal here because they're basically, I think Chandok's only real hope to finish off his deploy scramblers because he has no deep strikers. So if
Yeah,
that
I'll just go
Skyweaver
for
can
these
knock those 2 guys
Slave.
out, that's going to be a big swing. That's
Yeah.
potentially a 10-point swing right there. Not to mention that he takes that objective away from the AdMech.
4. Does not get me. Nope. So combat. I'll go ahead and start with the Skyweaver into the Ruststalkers.
Flubs and the Archaeopter.
Your toughness, what on them?
It's a 3.
The Ruststalkers are in here.
So 3s and 3s.
There's only 2 left. I think
3
one of them got
hits.
shot to death. Or two of them got shot through.
1 wound. -2. Oh, they're happy, aren't they? Oh, no.
Ooh. And he bounces. Uh-oh. Oh, one goes down. Okay.
The 2 kisses into the breacher.
Well, we might be able to kill that guy with the swing back, though. He's a lot of attacks.
3s.
And then it's up to the Death Jester to kill that guy, I guess.
And 5s. 1 at -1.
It's good.
All right. And then these are embraces. Yep. T6. Okay. So let's go and roll the embraces first. Because they're AP -3, 1 damage. So hitting on 3s and wounding on 5s. Because it's strength +1, nothing. And 12 attacks. You're T6, correct?
Yep.
So 3s and 6s. No wounds.
Ooh.
Should be all my attacks.
So the Iron Strider into players. One save.
1 bites the
Oh,
dust.
chicken feeds him. Got him.
Player.
The Princeps into the bike. So he's got a Cord Claw and 3 razors.
Ooh, 3 hits. Can we get those wounds? 2 wounds?
So 1 mortal wound.
Yo, that's just going
1
to get him.
seeds.
Oh, heartbreaker. So that will control objective 5 for the
And into
AdMac.
breacher. Or the breacher, I mean, into the players.
Are we forcing a coherency check here, too?
Misses gloriously.
That is everything. I don't have any morale. Just morale on Ruststalker. Can he fail? He's lead. Does he have +1? Oh no.
He's fine.
Yep.
Oof.
So get line breaker.
That's crazy.
And max
But
out
that will
against
still only score 5 primary for the Adeptus Mechanicus.
So to me,
But
Over
we
to
have
you.
a chance for that guy to
you gotta hit the button.
which one?
to
Your
run
button.
into
Okay.
the ruin over here. Maybe if one of these
Ah,
planes
that's
can
what it
turn
was.
around, he can turn around 90-degree turn and end up in the corner. We can shoot
So
the
you hold one.
Death Jester to death, and this guy can just bounce right over and try to grab deploy scramblers
Yeah,
in the
no
last
CP.
turn.
Correct, no CP.
Call heals himself.
Yep. I went ahead and gave you your 1.
I'm sort of rooting for Call here to just sort of like close out this game with his melee attacks. He's trying real hard. But this is a pretty hefty primary objective lead, and it doesn't feel like the AdMech have kind of been able to convert super, or to finish it off. They lost a lot of their tanks pretty quickly, and that's what they needed to deal damage. And now we're trying to scrap.
Touching the wall so you can shoot him.
That is the intention.
Okay.
Gonna advance him actually, so he will fly over him.
Just curious, can you hit him still? You get 2 90-degree turns?
They get a 90-degree turn at the beginning of their move and another 90-degree turn during their move.
Right, so I mean, if you were facing the exact if you
So
were
he can do a 180.
right, but he wasn't, so he would just go straight across, because you were parallel with this line.
Yeah.
So you can turn 90,
Right.
and then I can turn him at whatever angle I need for him to.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm being stupid. I was thinking of turning him the exact opposite way instead of. Yeah, my bad. The worst part is you know, I play Eldar and I'm used to my own flyer shenanigans.
He's gonna advance.
Same way there's restrictions, none of the wing can go over the edge. Yeah. There's no rules against clipping through the walls, as long as you don't do it with your base.
Okay, he's gonna fly over them. He can still see them from his wing.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, the position of his wings is really
You
matter.
should
I think
see
he's
both
good
of
anyway.
them.
I think he's taller than the building. Yeah, doesn't really matter, but he can go over top of the wall with the wing. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, your final position is a characteristic of movement. So if you don't hull
feature's
measurement,
going
it doesn't
to
matter what your
res-
model looks like. As long as your base can fit there, you can go there. It's sort of like, I don't know. It's never clarified in the rules whether or not your model counts as like being actually there. The way the rules are written implies that it isn't for movement. It's just for line of sight. But I don't know.
Okay, so.
Like you don't even have to be able to fit your base places generally.
Okay, so end of the movement phase, his plane will drop his bomb onto the Death Jester.
Yep.
So one mortal.
Dead.
Other plane will drop his
Yeah,
bombs
and
on
to
the
be fair, not
Skyweavers.
everybody like interprets it that way, because your model's like
Mortals.
still a model in terms of.
Also dies.
Ooh, the bombs are getting brutal. Your model's still a model.
Shooting phase is Iron Strider.
Like
will
for
shoot
line of
at
sight and
these
stuff,
players.
it's just for movement. It's not, and so like whether or not your placement of your model counts as a distance measurement is a question mark. But I don't know, it's dumb. Generally speaking, mechanically the easiest way to do it is just to ignore your model when you're moving it.
4 up. Player bites the dust.
Call's gonna shoot into the Starweaver.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I use proxy bases all the time, especially for big like annoying stuff that's hard to like sit next to walls. I'll proxy base those. And you just have to you have to fudge it for line of sight, which sucks, but you know, whatever.
1 failed.
3 damage.
It's a lot easier on TTS because you can phase through stuff, but that's another reason. And then the question mark is, you know, another question arises, like if your model would pass through terrain, like can you see through the terrain or over the terrain? Good. You know, can a plane fold its wings? Who knows? It's another reason that line of sight should not be tied to your model, but you know, whatever. Yeah, the planes are killing it right now. Holy crap.
Did I get the wrong guys out of the transport earlier? 2.
Just use a 44 by 60 inch piece of clear plastic so you can see the entire board. Yeah, right? Just say, hey, I've mounted my character on a 7-foot tall pole as a scenic base. I can see everything. Get stuffed. No rules against that.
They're
You can
right
do
here,
whatever you want.
Where at? Oh, they are.
Where did my music go? Come back, music.
So the only difference is these guys have embraces instead of kisses.
Oh, for Bobby Halls.
Yeah, okay.
This playlist has has some sea shanties on it coming up. I think what I've always wanted to do is to scenic base my a character on like a giant opaque piece of like something, like a big Nova L or whatever, and then just put them behind my army, so they can't target the character, but the character's base blocks line of sight to my whole army. I think that's the tech. Like for example, like if the Rust Stalker here, his scenic base included this L, and I just put my army in the L, so like my opponent couldn't shoot them because he was blocking for this guy, but my army, you know, so I could put like, indirect fire.
Just want to pass it back to me.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, like the argument becomes like, oh, I just won't play against that person.
So
And I was like, well,
see,
we're also playing in a
description
tournament game
of
though,
his
so
tail.
sometimes you just don't have a choice.
So he's gonna shoot.
Like your choice is to play me in my rules lawyery-ness or to quit the game, basically. Not that like no one's actually gonna do that, but the fact that the rules make it possible is a problem.
I'm gonna pay to give him +1 to hit.
I had this discussion. It's a big issue in the Star Wars Legion community right now because Legion uses like semi-true line of sight. Like some models use true line of sight and some models use a template system, but like the whole system is a mess. And so it's a real discussion in Legion right now, and I got into a really heated debate with some Legion people.
Okay, yeah, we'll give him +1 hit anyway. So just make sure I want to do that. We'll go back to him actually.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard if you, especially if you don't have,
into Star Weaver there.
you know, high
Actually,
reliability
we'll do
wounds that you can put into them, like some mortal wounds or, you know, Space Marine guns or whatever, to get through that hard to hit. It's really rough. It would have been a little bit better if these Skyweavers have gotten into it last turn to ding it up, because their weapons are pretty good at killing them, but they flub the charge. Yeah, and it kills them.
Okay. So this plane.
Oh, these planes are so brutal. I mean, it helps that they're high volume of shooting against an invulnerable save, like a mid tier invulnerable save. So,
guys, the other two into the Unit 5.
All right.
So the 6 into those two. We saved.
One dies.
yeah, the T7 flyers outside of like a Valkyrie is kind of weird, right?
The other unit.
Like hard to hit is supposed to make up for your low toughness, but they're just not low toughness. They're just as hard to hit kill as like a regular tank.
2 saves.
Not that the difference between T7 and T6 is like all that important, but sometimes it is.
2 die.
I guess strength 7 is a pretty reasonable cutoff. So it looks like we're only down to 5 players here. We are still screening the Twilight Fang guy.
Where?
Mechanicus keeps the best hull plating for themselves, yeah.
Okay. Well, it checks at the
At the end of the turn.
Yeah.
So call will charge that unit. Unit 3.
Okay.
All right, we'll see how this fight phase goes. I mean, realistically, we're kind of at the point where the planes aren't in any danger, but if we can kill... If this fight phase goes poorly for the Adeptus Mechanicus and this Twilight Fang guy can just, like, mop everything else up there, the points lead that the Harlequins already have might be enough to push them over.
2d6 attacks.
I mean, in fairness, Sam, the plane also does not have 30 wounds and a 4+ invulnerable save.
It's a squad.
Ooh. So call wipes the player squad, wrapping the Iron Strider.
Is there
Big
only 4
yikes.
guys there?
I think there's only 3.
Only 3? Okay.
That was mostly to be expected, though, I think, with the number of attacks that guy makes. So it's up to Twilight Fang guy.
And this thing's empty, right?
Correct.
Okay, so over to you.
Let's go Twilight Fang guy.
1 CP.
I'll get 3 on engage.
one objective.
Fortunately, Call has repaired himself almost back to full, which is kind of brutal after getting hit with those players earlier. But we are round 4, so we're plus 4 attacks with the Twilight Fang right now. That's a lot of extra attacks. Swinging 9 times with the automatic 2 mortals going through. He might be able to knock Call off it. Yeah, that Tesseract Vault, T7 or no, Tesseract Vault is still a beast, chat. I can say from experience. Mate, Y3 for engage? I don't... Did they score 3 there? Yeah, I don't believe that there's anything in this quarter. I think you're right, chat. We'll double check. Hey, Dan, do you have anything in your left side?
He's in the bathroom currently.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, but it's just the 2 flyers, the single Rust Stalker, and then the 3 models over here.
Yeah. So you should have 2 for engage on offense last turn, right?
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Unless there was a question.
Yeah, did you score 2 or 3 for engage on your last turn there? Because you have 3 quarters, right? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. All right, chat, we fixed it. Yeah, I was just scrubbing back through chat. He had
5 for engage.
No, we should be on 6.
6. Because I've scored 2 every turn.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I fixed
and then you
it.
have. Oh, you did. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just scrubbing back through the chat. He had
he
had 6 last turn, and then he scored it up to 7. But I imagine that was like a misclick, yeah.
Single Troop Master's there, and this player's going to run up over here too.
We're also going a little long, and I wonder if the players are
all right
kind of fading a little bit.
And then if I'm in dense cover as well, I don't take the -1 for shooting at another unit in dense, correct?
Yeah, if you're overlapping an area terrain with dense, you ignore it. Yeah.
Hop on the area. All right, we're just going to shooting then. Yeah, this Star Weaver's actually just going to jump. Stay on the objective and hide behind this wall. All right, so the single player with the kiss into the.
We got to go back to circus music, chat. I apologize.
So all these extra dice. All right, so 1 shot. He misses. What's Call's emblem?
He's a 5 emblem.
5, okay. The single player will shoot at the breacher.
I thought he just did.
Oh, I meant the Troop Master. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, the player shot, Troop Master shot, all missed. And then I'll put 3 shots into the Iron Strider. So 2 hits. 3s, 2 wounds. First one, 6.
Boosh. Get wrecked, Iron Strider.
Oh, I laughed if he blew up and killed the Troop Master.
Oh, I would have been so mad.
Disgusting. RVS, do people use Imperial Assassins?
Combat,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
The 3 players.
Especially with
into
their new
call.
ability to just swap each other out before the game. They're really good right now.
3 inches.
You don't see
should
them all the
still
time, but
make it.
they crop up every once in a while.
Yeah.
For sure. And definitely having like a Calidus in your back pocket is really nice, and Calexi's are really good against psychic armies. Calexi's are also good because they don't break your Abhor the Witch, so you can take anti-psychic defense and then also
The single player
not
into the
have
breacher.
to take psychers yourself.
Still makes it, luckily. And then the Troop Master into both. So. I guess I need to fix this squad. You cannot interrupt, correct? Yeah, you're SCP. Alright, since I'm stupid, I gotta fix this squad. So player 5, activate them first.
Fix them how?
Making sure they're staying wholly within the deployment zone for a line breaker.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is this like when I didn't move my plane correctly over the Adeptus?
Well, no, I'm activating them first. That's what I meant by fix. So I'm activating them first and moving them to 3 inches. Sorry. All right, so 2 embraces. Yeah. So 8 attacks. I'll do the embraces first in that squad. Hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s for the Great Harlequin, and then wounding on 5s. Yeah, wounding on 5s, rerolling for the True Master's ability. So 4 wounds at -3.
Takes 2.
And then the blades. Reroll 1. 4 hits. These need 6s. 3 wounds. No AP.
And what's this Great Harlequin thing?
The Great Harlequin allows you to reroll 1s to hit. And then his basic Choreographer of War allows him to reroll wounds. Is he down to 5?
Yeah, he should be 5.
Okay. Okay. So the Kiss next into the Breacher. 4 attacks. Hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s.
James Coulter is a mirror. Is Harlequin lore just a meme? I think Harlequins in general are just a meme.
Wounding
They're a
on
big old
3s.
meme faction. They're killer clowns from
2
outer
wounds
space.
at -1.
Isn't he strength 4?
Yeah, are you toughness 4?
He's T5.
Oh, T5, so reroll the 3. 2 wounds.
He's good.
Yeah,
All
get
right,
breached on.
Oh, I don't want to attack the Breacher, but I kind of have to.
Do you?
What turn is this?
This is bottom of 3.
Bottom of 3.
Well, you have to
Okay, so
attack the
Or, I
breacher.
guess top
Just
of
kill
3,
call.
So.
The
yeah,
breacher
or
can't
4,
clear that
sorry, it's
zone.
4.
What?
4, so True Master has
Oh,
9
maybe looking for
attacks.
grind. Call's gonna rip your
So he'll
face
put
off.
8
though.
into Call and 1 into the Breacher.
Yeah, so if his attack goes through, that at least allows him
So the 8 into Call.
to darkness bite that breacher.
Hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. And then Strength 5, your Toughness 6, right?
6.
So still wounding on 5s, rerolling. Thank God for rerolls. So 3 at -3. Sorry, there we go.
So he takes 4.
Ooh.
Then the single attack on the breacher.
Oh, so now he has the option. If this attack goes through, he either gets to kill
Hits.
Call or the breacher, but not both.
Wounds.
6 up, no.
For just 2.
So.
And then I'll do 2 mortal wounds to Call.
Yeah, you gotta pick Call there. That could have been gross.
And that's it for my turn.
All right.
Okay, I'll put the breacher into the troop master.
Okay.
All right, I want to see this breacher kill the troop master right
Unsaved.
now. Oh, he did it. Oh, he does it! Oh,
I'll
no!
CP reroll that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And he's
Fine.
good. All right. Burns the CP, though.
Okay.
So we're scoring 0 for our EdMac. Ooh.
Alright, so over to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I hold nothing.
Might be running away from him, but they have the option to deploy scramblers this turn, maybe. 8 inches. He should be able to do it, right? Yeah, definitely. Let's see if we can bomb that troop master to death, maybe. Grab those assassinate points. Get the 10 for deploy scramblers. But we're only looking at holding...
They'll fly over the unit 5.
Okay.
Is there 5 or 3 there?
Okay, I'll fall back.
Probably only holding 1 for the AdMac. So looking probably only 5 more points. Unless we can somehow kill all of these Harlequins.
He'll fly over, I guess, that single guy. He'll fly over both of them, so pick.
Okay.
Rustalker will deploy scramblers in your deployment zone.
Okay.
So that's the 10 for deploy scramblers. Closes that gap a little bit. Probably only 5 more points on the table for the AdMac, though, for primaries. So that's 55.
So bombs on
And we are
the
not
unit of
engaging
3
this
players.
turn.
3 die.
Ooh! Wipes the unit with those bombs. Those
Bomb
bombs have
on
been
the-
brutal.
Troop master. He dies.
And bombs the troop master.
This plane is gonna shoot
100%
everything into
conversion
the
on the
player.
bombs.
There.
Wow! Yikes. I mean, when you're rolling this hot on your bombs, I mean, I think these bombers have hit like 75 or 100% of their bombs every time they drop them. It's been insane, for sure.
Saves.
I do think the Harlequins' luck has been a little unfortunate this game. Yeah, kills them with a stubber. Wow. I wasn't sure if that was going to happen right there. Whew, jeez. So that will get
So I guess it'll be over to you.
back to... That'll get to 12 on
Alright,
Assassinate, right? Or are we
hold
max
on.
on Assassinate? And he's got 10 on Deploy Scramblers. And there's the potential for
Guess I'll just pop the Starweaver out.
another 3 on
He's
Engage.
OBSEC, right? That,
Sorry?
he's OBSEC, correct?
He's correct. Yes, he is.
Oh, I guess we could just kill
I
that
guess
guy.
so.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of assume that we will. Green Knight and Thousand Suns move out of the way. This is the real mortal wound output. Yeah, these bombs
I'm
don't
just gonna
become
pop
harder
out
to
and then
drop
shoot
as you
the,
have more of them,
breacher.
turns out. So we kill the breacher here.
Mechanicals for the turn.
That's like a 10-point
yeah.
swing if that breacher survives. If it gets cover, it's a big deal.
Cool. We really like rerolling ones.
Okay.
So
I
6
imagine
hits.
we already have picked Shroud. You could have just picked Shrouds on there, right? I don't think
one
he's
at
picked it yet.
-3 and 2 regular saves.
And he doesn't have call on the
He's
table
T5.
anymore to help it out.
Yeah, I'm
Oh, it's
strength
strength 6, right? So he's dead.
Oh, yeah, super killed him. Oh,
And
Okay.
that's my turn.
that's a big swing. So they're 1-1. You score 5 points on primary for the
I'll
AdMech.
also get 5. I'm going to get 1 CP. I'm going to spend that CP on this Ruststalker for Circuitous Assassins. I'll redeploy him over here. Well, I guess he redeploys at the end of the movement zone, or the end of the movement phase, but I'll just put him on that objective when he comes in. And he'll be deploying Scramblers on that.
Yep.
I guess these 2 planes can kill that, but I don't know if that does anything. It doesn't, so I need to make sure we get engaged. I'll advance him.
It's a neat little trick. I didn't know they could do
Very
that.
cool. Very cool use of Securitas Assassins there to grab the
he's in
last
the-
deploy Scramblers. Drop. That's
I
sick.
just normally do that right away, but I needed them to fight, so that's why
Right.
they were fighting. So that should get me. Let me make sure I'm.
Yeah, the Quins might take this.
If
I
you
think
say
killing
you
that
are,
breacher was like a
but,
big.
I mean, you
was
have
a
the
big freaking
movement
deal.
and the range, so it's really not a big deal.
And then we're only getting
Yeah,
two
it's just
on
there's the within 6 of them.
2 more on engage.
Well, I guess killing that doesn't matter.
So it looks like
Okay.
I think we're at 60 to 72
so
unless
that'll
we're
give me
missing
Scramblers.
anything. Oh, and we're also getting a grind for the Harlequins too.
I should have 10 on engage, right? Because I've gotten 2 every turn at least.
No, did you have it last turn?
Yes, because I had the flyers.
No, you didn't have it last turn. You had both flyers back here. And you have the single guy here.
Yeah, everything was in those 2 right-hand quarters,
That's
or
only 8
left-hand
on that.
quarters.
I don't remember that, but okay. Well, I guess that's it.
That was a brutal game for sure.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
had
just
the 2 flyers back here to bomb, right? And then you had the
Yeah.
Cataphront, and you had the 1 guy here, so there was nothing in these 2 quarters.
Yeah, just imagine if I went first,
Oh my god.
and my tank didn't blow up in my own army.
Yeah, that was the blowing up was unfortunate.
Well,
Is
so
that-
that 1 wound that was on the Mechanicus,
off.
he would have been alive.
Yeah, the Mechanicus would have been alive, and you would have had 2 more Rust Stalkers. Because you had the one with 1 wound, and I just put garbage fire into it just to.
And then when I needed a damage 2 on that D6, and I rolled 1 to 1.
It's
I like
wholly
that
within
part.
9 chat for Securitas
Yeah, that was,
Assassins. And the rest Stalker is
Pretty
back here.
unfortunate. And then when I made the 4 out of 5 saves on the on my Troop Master to keep him alive, he should have been
Twice.
dead. Yeah,
Twice.
yeah.
Chat, if you have any questions you want to
that's
ask the players, let me know now so we can get in there.
Yeah, it was a great game though. Still,
Yeah, definitely a crazy game, guys. That was intense to watch. we were the Harlequins going first, obviously, are like just definitely in the driver's seat, hardcore. But then everything kind of dove in and like went super face. And in the chat, we were like, "Oh man, is it like they have to kill a bunch of stuff to stop the AdMech from killing, a whole ton of
I
Harlequins."
mean, like everything died here. He has the Starweaver left. That's it.
Yeah, for sure. Chat is asking that in hindsight, for Patrick, seeing the amount of the work that the 2 flyers put in, do you think that putting more effort into them on turn 1 to kill them would have been worth it?
sorry, I had a phone call, so I didn't hear the whole question.
Oh yeah, chat was just asking if, in hindsight, you think it would have been the right call to put more work into trying to kill the flyers rather than like the Scorpii.
Yeah, I mean this matchup is always terrible because the multi damage on the disintegrators really just kill the bikes, and they put in a lot of work on the transports. So I tend to go for the disintegrators more than the flyers because the flyers just pick off my troops. I mean, I probably should have focused fire on the 1 a little more, and he would probably have 1 dead flyer instead of 2 flying around still.
Yeah, that one that's down to
Well,
4.
if you would have killed it that turn, I would have blown it up and killed the.
Oh
bike,
yeah, that's right.
the
That's
bike
why.
and the Death Chester.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good call too.
Yeah.
So I know Dan was saying before the game that he was really dreading this matchup on this map particularly. But Patrick, I wanted to know how you feel about the AdMech matchup in general with the Harlequins.
So I mean, going first, it's Haywire against everything, and he has a long enough range that he can definitely minimize it. With this matchup, though, what's so hard is it's Dawn of War deployment. So I mean, he might be able to get away from Fusion, but it's impossible to get away from the Haywire.
Yeah. Yeah, the 24-inch range is just a little bit too long.
Yeah.
For sure. That makes a ton of sense. And with that in mind, Dan, would you, seeing how the game played out, would you change the deployment that you set up in any way, or would you stick with that sort of defensive setup that you constructed?
No, I'd do the same thing. I don't know if there's really much else you can do. Like if it was,
Right.
say, Hammer and Anvil or something where I had more depth
Mm-hmm.
in my deployment zone, then I could change it. But I mean, he's got Twilight Path, so he's going to charge me turn 1. So I have to try to make sure he can't charge the things that he wants to charge. So making his bikes damage 3 and picking up like almost a whole unit of Raiders was the right move, because then he got to pile into things. Otherwise, he would have been just in combat with the dogs. And that's fine.
Right. Yeah, and it looks like it was pretty effective, just, sort of soaking. Yeah, you have to trade away the Raiders, which sucks, but, like, at least, he didn't get to engage all the tanks and stuff.
I'm sure he didn't expect just the one Faramite Disintegrator to pick up, like, 3 bikes.
I know, that was intense. It's just like, get right out of here. Would you consider the fallback and shoot Warlord trait on in this matchup at all?
I suppose it's possible, but I mean, I don't know if there is really a place I could point out to say where like it would have been particularly effective, like in this place instead of that place.
Right. Yeah, it's like the
I
one
mean-
time that you fell back, it was like the Scorpios blew up anyway, right? Like the one really big one.
Yeah, and he did 10 mortals in that shooting. which is just
Right.
nuts.
Yeah, it's just like Haywire doing Haywire things. Let's see. I had one more question. Bart's asking, seeing that Harlequins are becoming more popular, are there any changes you would make to your list in the future to tech against them?
No, because here's the thing: is like my list is. So I have a friend and I have been playing this list, and we have like 30 plus games in this with this list. We've only lost like, I guess this is the second game that we've lost. So I have it has a very good record, and it's pretty well tuned.
Yeah. And it's clearly
like
it's not like an auto loss matchup, right? Like even going second into like sort of a bad mission setup, you still like made it real close. And any turn going even more your way probably swings it, right?
But besides maybe the AdMech mirror, this is probably the hardest matchup that I have. Because so everyone takes auto cannons, but I take last cannons because auto cannons are garbage.
Yeah. You're bouncing off
because
Space Marines and
yeah,
Salamanders.
you need the AP3, and if you're shooting last cannons into Gravis, like you'll just pick those models up.
Right.
Whereas if you're shooting Salamander Gravis models with auto cannons, it's not going to do anything for you.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
The main thing here is if I go first, then he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, you just get to dominate so much of the board space that he has to like open. His turn 2 in order to hit you, he has to run into line of sight of all the guns, right, without engaging them, and then you just get to blow them up.
Well, the other thing too is I can move all the Raiders up, and I can just shoot the Shadow Searing Killer.
Yeah. Where was she? She was back here, right?
He's back there, but I have 24 plus up to 2d6 inches of movement.
Sure.
So
yeah, you just make it happen, basically. You find a way.
yeah, well, so I was deployed in a manner because I had one energy cannon down here and one over here, so that if he redeployed the bikes from here and put them in this corner, then I could just straight line of sight shoot all the bikes and kill them, and I'd be fine with doing that also.
Yeah, that's what we were sort of looking at pregame. If those bikes redeployed, if going second, he definitely deployed sort of looking to go first, but going second, the bikes didn't have a great place to hide if they didn't want to just like go in this corner and then not be relevant for a turn.
Yeah, and the other nice thing is if he puts the bolus spikes over here, I can charge them because I'm not afraid of them in combat, and I can make him fall back, and I can make all his fusion boats have to fall back move, which means
so they can't
he can't advance them, so he won't be able to get them into my vehicles because he's going to be 6 inches further away.
Yeah.
But if you get rid of Twilight Path, he loses the ability to like missile a unit to directly where he wants it.
Right. Yeah, and that makes the fusion way less scary because then they're only like 28 inches, and you can play with that. And the bikes can't like just hit wherever they want. Yeah.
Yeah. So the turn where I was bombing the Death Jester and shooting that bike, I needed both of those things to die. Because that would have swung the points by a lot. Because that would have stopped him from getting 15. He would have only gotten a 10 that turn, and then I would have gotten a 10 on my turn.
Yep.
So that needed to happen, but they both lived. So.
Yeah, the invuln saves swung that way. In fairness, it seemed like your bombers were on fire most of that game, though. So they really loaded up those bomb bays.
Yeah, they do pretty well with them. I think they're extremely good.
Yeah, it's interesting because like in each individual turn, it doesn't feel like they're doing much, but when you look at the amount of models they kill over the course of all 5 rounds, it's like, oh my god, they've killed a lot.
They're actually really good in this matchup because they ignore his 4-up invuls. He doesn't want.
They don't care about that.
He doesn't want to dedicate shooting to kill them.
Right.
And they're not easy for him to just like shoot a Star Weaver at and kill them.
Yeah, it's not like he wants to chase them with a fusion boat. Like they're faster than the fusion.
And every time that I'm in Mars, they're strength 5, which means they even tear up bikes. It's just shooting 12 shots that wound on 3s into bikes is fine.
Yeah, for sure. That makes a ton of sense. All right, that seems like I think that's all the questions from the chat we have. Unless you guys have anything more to add, I think we'll let you go.
All right. Thanks, Trevi. Hopefully I'll get enough points to get second, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how the other games turn out for sure.
All right, later.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Great game. Yep.
All right, everybody, that's going to be it for us today. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll be back at some point with some streams. I don't have any other finals games scheduled right now, but we'll hopefully get some on soon. I'm hoping that we can scrape together a hardware update at some point, so this lag issue isn't quite as pronounced. Unfortunately, TTS has been running like this, at least for me, for a while, so it's very choppy, and I'm not sure what's going on there. So we'll have to get that repaired, and I do apologize that the viewing experience is not 100% what we'd hope, but that's kind of how the cookie crumbles right now. I talked about it the last week, but we're still working on some updates to the YouTube channel. We're going to be opening a YouTube membership that you can join, and that'll give you some sick custom emojis that we're working out right now. That we actually have a bunch of them, and you'll get little badges on your account as well if you get the subscription, and so that will be going up later this week, so that'll be fun. So for everybody who wants to help support the channel and show it off in the chat room, then we'll be ready to go. Otherwise, that's going to be it, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off. So big thanks everybody for taking the time out of your day to watch. I really appreciate it, and have a good one, everybody.